So, where we last left off, you had all, in various ways, and by various I mean 2 specific ways, left Davidros, the city. Found
That's one way to put it.
in 2 places very similar. Siegfried, of course, you, grabbing a dagger that you recognized, and attempting to do something you thought would be easier than expected, popped into a room. As I change the scene abruptly here. Stand by. Boom. That's the right one. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Zoom out to find it.
These aren't here yet. Okay. So, you found yourself in a room. Candlestick, multiple candles on it, only a couple lit. There's a bucket of water. Not of water, a bucket, and then it's leaked, and there is a puddle of water under it now. A door, very reinforced. And you on the bed. You had the whole conversation you had with Mr. Doznik. And there is now 2 Hashas in my game, but that's cool. Just, boom. There we go.
Still there.
Yeah, I refreshed my
am
page
too.
and he's gone, so that's cool. So, you found yourself here, in this room, had a conversation with a man that you disagreed with, morally, I'd say.
Yes.
And he got a call on a sending stone, and fell through the floor in a pile of snow that is now gone. The rest of you were captured very skillfully by someone who made themselves known by the name of Astoria, and were taken out of the city of Davidros on cartback, not willingly perhaps, not unwillingly perhaps as well, but it wasn't like you had a choice. And eventually came to this sheer cliff face with a door. There we go. Sorry, I had player view on still. So, you all get popped out of the cart, and Corbin and Astoria both take you into this door, and then as you go in the door, it's just a door, and then a hatch straight into a ladder, and you all come down these stairs. Astoria looks back and says, what were you gonna say?
So I was just gonna say, we're about to get touched. Any last words?
Astoria looks back and says, calm down, that's not this kind of place anymore. Anyway. Corbin,
she looks over and is like, I'm sorry, excuse the fuck out of me?
You see Corbin and Astoria walk by, and Astoria just says, come along now. Kind of tugs at your chains to pull you forward. And it opens up to a very nice looking, presumably a basement. And you see a gathering of people around the table. You are all chained together, so try and stay within 5 feet of each other. Corbin just comes and takes a seat at this table, and Astoria says, hey,
I'm glitched out something.
Do what?
Oh, I accidentally grabbed something.
Oh, wait, hold on, let go of Hasha, you're bugged. Let go. Oh, wait, wrong button. Boom, boom, boom. This is why we use the middle mouse button to drag the mouse, or the map around, so you don't break things. Anyway, alright.
Oh god, I didn't even know I could do that.
I gave you a whole tour, damn it! No, I'm kidding. Okay. So, Astoria walks in, you all walk behind her chained together. No plug. And you see 2 hooded figures sitting at this part of the table. One of them has an arrow in their shoulder, and the other one's kind of poking at it and like trying to pull it out of the shoulder. You also see a gruff hooded figure sitting at the end of the table, eating on a spit of roast, if you will. And then Corbin takes a seat next to this other man, who is kind of not eating and playing around with a single pea. Astoria walks in and says, I found them. I could not find the old man. And this fellow over here says, that's okay, he found us.
Does the one with
I
the
saw so
arrow
she just
need
like put the
help?
face of a.
This one looks over and says, doesn't say anything to you, looks over to the story and says, yeah, take him to the road.
I saw has the face of excuse the fuck out of me. What like the information you told her is like it didn't used to be. It's like I'm sorry. What now?
Stun locked. Yeah, stun locked by dialogue. Let's see if I can do this still. Oh, Ferno's getting dragged on. Okay, cool.
Try to cast Healing Word as we go by.
No, hands are bound. Okay, I think y'all are trying to move your tokens, and that's what's
It's
fucking
verbal
it up.
only.
No,
Oh, is
it was
verbal
getting.
only?
It's verbal only,
Yep.
and I don't have to
It's
touch
verbal
the guy.
only.
Is it a willing target?
A
Any
creature of your
creature.
choice that you can see within range regains hit points equal to 1d4
Okay,
plus
yeah, you can
my
do
spell
it.
mod.
Yeah, you can do it, I guess. Go ahead and roll to cast.
Can I just do like a general insight on like those group of people? Just
Sure, I'll give you disadvantage because you so quickly were pulled past.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 17 plus 5.
Yeah, you cast
So,
it. And then go ahead and roll that heal.
okay, so it's 1d4 plus. So that's 4 plus 3, so 7.
7? Okay, she heals up with the arrow. Gavin's still playing with the arrow.
Yeah, bad.
She's like, you hear as y'all are walking away, being dragged away. Since when you could? As I get tongue tied. Since when did you know you could do that? I don't know. This kind of fades off into the distance. Anyway, where did
She looks
everyone
pleased
go?
with herself.
What the hell? Where did fucking Astoria go? What? Okay, that's what happened. Y'all were trying to pull y'all's characters too, and it fucked up Astoria. She got teleported way out there. Okay. Anyway, she brings y'all into this presumable library/office space and chains you all to this pillar. She kind of takes off the chain link between you all and then like wraps it around your waist a couple times, so all of you are chained by the waist around this pillar, and then all your hands are chained together and your feet. She then shackles below you. She says, "Sit tight in here. We'll bring you food at some point, but
It's not like we can go anywhere.
Huh, you're right. Anyway, she walks out the door and closes.
I'm sorry.
And closes it behind you all.
It's like we're about to get diddled.
Okay.
Am I technically
Are
large?
you
or-
worried about it?
Yeah,
Am
you're
I just
technically
gonna-
large. I need to change you. I just didn't change it when I put it on.
Yes.
Of course, you aren't actually that big. You just take up that space.
Yeah. But I like to mention that.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Mister? I've been locked in this room. Couldn't do anything basically all last session.
Well, you said I had a few days, right?
You had a couple days of their travel time. What would you have done in that time?
Well, we discussed at the end of last session
Yeah,
that there was 18 cubic inches of water.
around. Give or take.
Yes. And I also have the shape water and freeze water ability.
Yeah.
So I was planning to actually try.
On the
I
raw
don't-
wood door. It's a wooden door
Yeah.
that's like reinforced.
That's got
with
raw
rock.
wood,
Yeah.
like bars on it. Yes.
Effectively. It's a
What I
banded
wanted-
metal door, but the metal that is banding the door is raw wood.
Yes. What I had wanted to do was to see. I imagine that first day is to see if there is a capacity for how much magic that door can, the rotwood can absorb at once.
Give me either, and be specific which one you're doing, give me either an Arcana or a History check.
Let me see. History is +5. Arcana is +5. Oh, I've got proficiency in both. All right. We'll go ahead and do. I don't get to do smart things very often. Let's try history.
Okay. History it is.
So that's a D20 +5.
Ooh.
24.
So, and you said history, right? Not Arcana?
Yes, history.
So, you know that rotwood, anything that could you could imagine you could probably make with rotwood just like any other metal. The difference with rotwood, though, it is highly enchantable. You know that the people who tend to do this, and by tend to I mean the only people who literally can do this, are artificers. And you know they are very few and far between, and almost exclusively Hallingers. And those Hallingers that can do it almost exclusively live in Grovewood or Hallinrest. That is it. There's not any in David Rose, there's not any in Adders. Any Rotwood, anything you find anywhere outside of those places have been in those places and made there. There's been some rumors that someone in Tefan can do it as well, which the Empire's kind of worried about because they're not, they're independent of the Empire. Now, Grovewood, of course, it being its own powerhouse, the Empire can't really do anything about, but that's the extent of the rumors that you heard. Now, Rotwood having an upper threshold of what can happen to it, you don't really know the odds and ends of it. You just know that it takes a very specific set of skills that are highly specialized and trained to deal with this kind of thing, to deal with this kind of thing. Now, you have seen, that being said, many things with high utility of the weaves, i.e. airships being made mostly of rotwood and whatever secret ingredient they use for the balloon part of the ha-has. Ha-ha, of course, if you don't remember, is the high-altitude helium aircrafts.
Haha.
The fantasy Hindenburgs, yes.
The Hindenburg!
Straight-up Hindenburgs that got sucked into this world. With the rest of the humans. Anyway. So, with that information, what do you do with it?
So it's got a very specific...
Yes, so unlike the what am I saying? Unlike the Petricite that absorbs magic and nullifies its effect, Rotwood, it's like a sponge per se, where it does absorb magic, but it's able to re-release it. Whereas Petricite's like a black hole almost. Now, that sponge though is a very, very porous sponge.
So it doesn't hold it for long.
It's not that it doesn't hold it for long. It's very good at being enchanted and then releasing that enchantment is very specifically what it is. However, to get that enchantment into it is where that specialized type of artifice magic comes in. So your standard Joe Schmo sorcerer, or in your case, Cryomancer, probably, to your knowledge at least, you've never heard of any having that skill. Even though you yourself, being a wand maker, know how to make wands, you are incapable, to your knowledge, of making rotwood wands, which do exist. So that's the
not my skill set.
Yeah, it's not. It's like you can be a doctor but not understand the biology. You can be a biologist and a medical doctor and still not know how to fix a zebra's medical ailments. Because you're not a vet. Very similar but different. Same but not same.
Same, but not same indeed.
So,
so I'm looking at my Shivering Cold 2nd level ability.
Yeah.
This damage ignores cold resistance and turns immunity into resistance. Given that...
That is true.
Yes, you did. And it is a bonus action to any attack. It says, to your attacks.
Yep. It's not a bonus action. I think it just happens.
To your attacks as a bonus action.
Okay.
I'm reading it word for word right now. Yeah.
What are you doing on your... I gotta turn this off because I realize that's part of the Discord overlay. I'm gonna stop watching stream. How do I stop watching stream? You're just drawing on your...
Go in the corner and then go turn off the stream.
Table.
That's my camera, not my stream.
No,
Yeah,
it's
you
fine.
cannot
I can turn it off if it's distracting, though.
It's not distracting. It's just I don't know how to turn it off of the overlay.
Now I need to go back to 5e tools for my spells.
Settings.
Sorry, I was turning off the...
I don't know
up
how
in
to
the
fix it, so I just
sensitivity.
turned the opacity to 0, so it's completely transparent. Anyway, it's fine. You don't have to turn it off. Anyway, I guess I reread it. It is, in fact, Good
A
choice.
bonus action.
It is in fact a bonus action. Yes, I thought it just always happened, but I realized that I changed that from V1, which I understand that says V1, but that's because it was the first version of the PDF I made. Anyway,
Oh, so is it not a bonus action?
it is a bonus action because before it wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has a recharge, I believe, of short rests. A certain
Now-
amount of short rests.
Would it be safe to say there are bands on both sides of the wood?
Have you seen the other side of this door?
I'm going to ask based on knowledge of architecture.
Yeah. So, you know, doors that are reinforced tend to be reinforced all the way through because if they weren't, they wouldn't be much of a reinforcement.
Hmm.
So, but again, you haven't seen the other side of the door, so you can't be 100% sure, but you can be like 98% sure.
Yeah. Let's see.
Are you thinking of like electric wiring, but instead of electricity, it's just cold, and as soon as someone touches this door, they're just getting frozen?
Maybe. You don't know that.
Anyway.
Yeah, I am considering doing something like that, but also Chill Touch is necromancy.
Yeah.
It's necrotic damage, and while I cannot deal necrotic damage as a sorcerer, I imagine the effect of rot could still happen if it is wood.
So, you can't do necrotic damage as a Cryomancer because it turns into cold damage.
I see.
And the whole part of it, you can't heal until the next part of your turn, would probably be reflavored as, instead of like the rotting away at your skin, it's kind of froze over, so you can't really target it with that kind of magic. You know, in
Mhm.
of course. You know, mechanics-wise, you could still maybe figure out something, but mechanics-wise, it still works the same as you can't heal through it.
So, what I would like to have done throughout this time is to take that 18 cubic inches of water and to apply it to the door itself,
As like a
And
layer around the door.
and trying to get as much into the wood as possible. Like the
Okay.
wood of the door, not the rot wood.
Yeah. I see.
And
trying to freeze it, I'm
wa-
assuming, to expand the wood.
Yes.
Okay. Give me...
Because, go on.
Go ahead.
I've got reasons, but we'll see how this goes first.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check.
Okay, that's another d20 plus 5.
Yeah.
Yay, good modifiers. Let's go.
I'm so glad Ferno
Ha!
said that.
22.
I'm so glad Ferno said that and it showed up in the overlay, so now everyone in the video knows that Ferno's going to eat a banana.
Banana yummy.
Banana is yummy.
Why, that's bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
So ignoring that,
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
yeah, you know how porous wood can be, so you know, get the water up in there. I'm assuming you freeze it?
Yes, but I'm going to do it slowly so that it's not noticeable right away. So, like, every day, touch the
Layers.
door using Chill Touch, and it slowly expands through, like you're saying, in layers.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to not be able to open it if they try to.
So you're
But I want
down
to be able
here
to
for
affect it.
about 3 days, and of those 3 days, all 3 of which you do that thing, okay?
Mhm.
And on the 3rd day, you realize, wait, we're in an presumably underground, seeing as how there's no walls and it's very damp and musky down here. Presumably, wooden objects underground are made to be underground and absorb a lot of water, and in fact, sometimes in cold, freezing temperatures. And every time you expand the door, it expands. You can kind of sense the bigness of it beginning. However, you know, the frame around the door is kind of made to compensate for that. And yes, you engorge this door with water and freeze it, but it just expands and contrasts as any other door would.
Now, here's where we get to the fun part.
Yep.
How much ice would you say is making up the composition of this door right now?
So you had 18 cubic inches, and because of the
Which
conservation
expands.
of mass, yeah, it expands. It's still, you know, the mass of it stays the same, but the volume of it increases, of course.
Mhm.
So how much water is in this door is 18 cubic inches of water, but the volume
No, I-
increases.
Yeah, I would say, for example, if I were to use my sculpture class feature, which allows me to warp water that I'm touching.
Yeah.
up to 10 feet of water per turn. So every 6 inches, or every 6 seconds, I can shape ice up to 10 feet away from me.
So if you had 18 cubic inches of water and were using that ability, you could go up to 10, you said feet?
It's 10 feet per turn.
Yeah, 10 feet per turn.
Up to 10 feet of water per turn
Yeah,
can be
that.
a
So the limit you're getting limited by here isn't the 10 feet, it's the 18 cubic inches of water you have.
Yes, but what I'm asking is having seen that it compensates, would I then be able to swirl the ice inside of the door to make a hole in the door
I mean,
using my sculpture? Because touching it is wet.
presumably, yes, but the wood itself would basically be blendered and there would be a hole, but the rotwood bars would still be in the way if you're trying to crawl through.
Would I? No. Would I be able to? And I'm assuming there is a knob, at least, that may not be opening, but there must be a knob on this door.
Yeah.
Or a handle or a latch.
Yeah.
So would I be able to, above or next to that handle, make an 18-inch hole in the wood and stick my arm through to unlatch myself? 18 inches is large enough I'd be able to get a good peek at what's on the other side.
So I don't know if I exactly described how this is reinforced. So it's not like prison bars up and down. It's like a grid pattern, like a milk crate almost. Does that make sense? So you could get in the wood, the regular wood, an 18-inch hole, but you're still dealing with like the 4x4 inch.
Which is still, I would say, large enough for a hand to fit through.
How big's your forearms? How swole are you?
Let me check my character sheet.
My arm, and I'm not a very swole person, but my forearm is bigger than 4 inches.
I have a 10 strength, so I am average. I am not buff.
I'd say I'd have a 10 strength as a normal person. Or,
well, I'm looking at my arm, and it's noodly, so...
It's noodly, that's fair, but I don't know. I'm gonna say
4
roll
square
me.
inches.
I'm gonna say roll me sleight of hand just to see if you could kind of like squeeze and slip your hand in there just to unlock this.
Another +5.
Yeah, let's see.
You just hit me with every +5 in my list.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew it was going to happen eventually.
I am gonna do this so you can see into the room, by the way, because that hole is there.
So, not 9.
9 in total. So you
Yeah.
wiggle your arm in a little bit, and then like you get halfway up the forearm, and where the meat starts going around the elbow, like you can get up to there, but the only movement you have is in your wrist because your elbow's not through the door. However, you can see where the latch is, and you can also kind of see the structure of this lattice of rotwood, and the rotwood is inside of the latch that is locking the door. There's a door handle and a door knob, yes, but the latch that is locking the door from the outside is rotwood that is attached to rotwood, attached to the stone on the other side that you cannot see.
But I can see the latch, so I can see the mechanism itself?
Yes, but you can't really reach it because you're...
I don't need to.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the fun fact. I don't need to, because that ice doesn't disappear just because I used it. It's still there.
Yep.
So I can now...
Draw it out of the wood.
Using scope, draw it out of the wood and use it to create a hook to fit through and turn where I can't stick my arm.
Yeah, give me another Arcana check for that. Just see if you can manipulate it that finely. If that makes sense.
It does. I am pushing my cryomantic abilities. 16.
16 is good. What would I say the DC of that is? I think I'd say it's about a 15. So yeah, you form this hook and you know, I'm gonna say you're closer so you can see a bit more there. You kind of like slip it in and hook around and then... Oh, but would the ice break? I think you would compensate for that with that Arcana check, and you pull the latch back and the door's unlocked.
All right. I would like to very carefully, using this hole, try to see if I can see anyone in this room who might have heard me escaping. Because I did just blend a door.
Not to your knowledge. You can, move around however you need to. And,
Okay. I would like to push the door open.
Yep. There is a needs WD-40 that sounds out, but again, you peek your head out. Go ahead and step out. You see 4 other doors in this room. Actually, 5 other doors in this room. No, I
Four.
counted right. 4
I
other
see
doors in
4.
this room. Yeah, 4 other doors in this room. Not
Okay.
counting yours. One
Right.
here, one here, one here, and one here.
Okay. I don't have any of my gear, so I am doing this strictly off my cryomancy abilities.
Yep.
Okay.
This is actually
This
sensitive
is.
close, sorry.
That's fine. I'm looking for what my snow sword ability actually does. Oh, it just gives me AC bonus. I don't actually get to make a snow sword.
No, not a spoiler. I have to go open.
So anyway, we're gonna, while you brainstorm, jump back to the others.
Go for it.
So, you 3 find yourselves in this library office area, chained to a pillar together. What have you all been talking about for the last 20 minutes?
How much like freedom of movement do we have at all?
You can
like-
turn your heads around and you can lift your arms up and down, but again, your hands are manacled together, and it's not like handcuffs. It's like hands inside
Manacled,
of
yeah, like-
gloves, manacle.
Like Frozen. I know this is a bad reference, but
Yes,
you know what
actually,
I mean.
exactly. Like
I
that.
get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly like that. And
Great.
funny you say that because you know, you would all notice, and Ferno, know your fire has no say about this. It is ice shackles. They are made of ice.
Hashash
That's
was slowly look.
interesting.
And they don't.
Hashash
seem to be
just
melting.
look down at the ice and then look over at Ferno.
Ferno, you see her look at you, and you're just like, I don't know. They don't seem to be melting even on your engulfed in flames hand.
I have this spell called Primal Savagery.
Yep.
And the description says that I channel primal magic to cause my teeth or fingernails to sharpen.
Yep.
Could I cast that using my teeth?
You can sure as hell try.
Hell yeah. Because that means I could make a melee spell attack against the manacles.
What's the components of that?
It's purely somatic.
Okay. I'm just.
So it's all hand
Yeah, I'm
movements.
just. Well, not necessarily hand motions, but motions, of course. And I'm gonna just take you like bearing your soon-to-be primal fangs as that somatic. So yeah, you very easily do that. That's not a leveled spell, is it? That's a cantrip, right? No, that's. a
No,
leveled
that's
spell.
cantrip.
Yeah.
No, it's a
Okay,
cantrip.
Yep, cantrip.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Primal Savagery.
Oh, yeah,
it's
that's right, 'cause
from.
yeah.
It's from Xanathar's, I
Yeah.
think.
No, I use it in my my savage rogue. So yeah. Or my
Yeah,
predator
so-
rogue, excuse me.
Because it does acid damage, I want to try to gnaw at the restraints.
Yeah. You know, you start gnawing.
Can,
you want
can
me
I
to-
just try and brute strength this?
Roll an attack.
We'll do hers
Or-
first. Don't roll an attack.
Yeah.
You don't even need to roll to hit because it's not hard to bite your own hand.
Okay.
But roll damage for me. Of course.
All
this
right,
being
so
acid damage.
that's
6 acid.
6 acid because it doesn't have any pluses.
Nope, cantrip does. Yeah, you start gnawing. It's cold. You know, nothing. In fact, actually, give me a perception check as you're doing this.
Okay.
Actually, you don't even
my
need a
first-
perception check. It's right next to your eyes. You can see this. As you're gnawing at this, the ice like seems to be being affected, but it's like almost as soon as you pull your teeth away to bite at another part, reforms itself.
Well, it's worth a shot.
Yep, of course. Ferno, give me that just raw strength check.
Straight roll?
Yep.
Darn.
What's the
Uh,
modifier
it-
for the strength?
Just straight strength?
Yeah.
12.
Modifier? Oh, not
Oh,
12 in
Pl-
total.
plus 3. Yeah,
Oh.
total of 12. Yeah.
30, okay. Yeah, no. Like, you start, and it starts, like, chipping almost, and then it, like, that chip fills back into a gap, and then it recondenses around your hand.
Yeah.
Even, like, you
Yeah,
probably
yep.
even, like, try and smash it against a wall, and it just, like, it, like, cracks and fractures and then reforms back around your hands. Very clearly, this is magical ice, as if you couldn't guess that already. Jade, are you trying anything? I mean, not Jade, excuse me. Hasha, are you trying anything?
I might as well try it.
What are you trying?
Strength.
Oh, sure, yeah, you can do that. I didn't know if you had any other ideas.
Well, concern is the fact that watching it reform, she could probably think of a few things that, as a blacksmith, she's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is this reforming nice?
I mean, yeah, it is.
These
reforming,
motherfuckers do.
and it is ice.
She's like, wait,
You've seen
They have
similar
stress-
things in like the armors of Waylanders. They tend, to be ice people. Not ice people, but people very attuned to ice. They tend to have things made of ice. And armor sometimes is one of them. Sometimes weapons. Weapons not as much, but you do actually remember a pair of daggers that an assassin once requested you make, and of course you couldn't make it, but blacksmith that you were in the same town as at one point, being a Waylander, was able to make these daggers that were made of ice mixed, that was made of water mixed with a specific kind of poison that they'd stab their victims with and break it off, and then the dagger would reform itself outside of the wound, and the piece of the dagger was stuck in would melt, and the acid would, or not the acid, the poison would still be in their system. So yeah, you've seen reforming ice before.
Would I be able to know how to break the ice? Considering I know how to do
You
it.
know that when the ice gets broken, it reforms very quickly afterwards. So you would know that the only way to get around this presumably would be one of those Waylanders being able to ice craft these manacles off of you. Cough, cough, as if you didn't have a Waylander in your party. So anyway.
Hasashi's going to say, good news. You want bad news is we're going to be the bad news is we're going to have these on semi-permanently until we find Siegfried. Good news is we can break out of here, but it's going to be very, very hard to do so. As she says, as she's going to try her best to break it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I roll
raw
strength?
Yeah, raw strength.
D20 go. D20.
So yeah,
D20 no.
You see your fellow party member and Made of Fire Barbarian smash this thing against the wall and like trying to rip it apart and stuff, and it just keeps reforming and reforming. And you're like, this is going to be very hard to get around. And also attempt to smash it against the wall or something, and it does the exact same thing. It just reforms.
She's like, well. The saying goes, keep going until the old lady screams.
And you just keep smashing it.
As she-
Mhm.
You just keep smashing it.
Yep.
It keeps reforming. No difference.
Is there anything interesting to look at in the room at least? Like, I know there's the bookshelves, but we can't really read them unless they're open.
You can't
They
read
have any
them, but you
cool
can
Wait.
read the
Titles?
Yeah, you could read the
Yeah, I was
titles.
about to say, are there
wait.
cool titles?
Question. Hold on, before we go. Is it possible? Can I smash the ice against the chain?
The chain is ice. Everything is ice except you and the pillar. And if
What's
you were
the
to
pillar
smash
made
it
of?
against the chain, it would reform. If you were to smash it against the stone pillar, the stone wouldn't reform, but the stone wouldn't be disformed because it is ice, and the ice would reform. Jade, give me investigation with disadvantage because you're trying to look past Ferno, and you're also on the opposite side of the pillar from
Okay.
the other books. To see if you notice any interesting titles while you're just chilling here, listening to them.
Well,
smash
that's
ice
a
together.
10 plus just a 1, so that's an 11.
Yeah, a lot of colorful book spines, but you can't really see through the flames of Ferno and past Hasha and the other shelf that's on the other side of the room. And with that, we'll go back to Siegfried. But also with that, in addition to postscript, I'll be right back because I gotta go to the restroom. So talk amongst yourselves, but not amongst Siegfried and the other group because y'all are in opposite sides of the dungeon.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And break
Even if-
fourth wall.
Even if we break free of this, we don't have our weapons. Sure, I could use my fists, but we couldn't
Yeah.
even handle her.
Well, I have spells, but I agree. I mean, even if we break out, we're not going to really do anything.
At this point, our best hope would be to find our stuff and escape.
Yep. It's just like, we gotta find our stuff. What are the odds of our stuff being one of the corners?
I mean, did you look for your stuff?
I didn't see it with the basic. Didn't
Probably
have
still
a
in
the
basic
cart.
scan of the room.
So that means
Oh,
if
yeah,
it's still
I
in the
can
cart,
do
it's
that too.
outside.
Yeah, probably.
You could ask if your
Probably.
passive allows you to see it.
Yeah, when he gets back.
Exactly.
I mean, why would they bring it all our stuff in this room. That'd be very unwise of the bad guys.
Well, you're assuming. Remember, they were trying to. Well, no, you guys don't know this in character. Fine. They want Siegfried for some reason, which means they probably aren't going to destroy your stuff.
I mean, we discovered that in the
But yeah, you get.
the house.
That's what I'm saying. This
Okay,
is
I'm
things
back.
that you guys know.
God damn it, Siegfried, what were you telling them? No, I'm kidding.
I didn't tell them
Nothing.
anything, actually.
No, you're good. I know. I trust you. All right.
He's telling us what we
And
already know.
also, I have it on recording, so I can tell if you're cheating anyway. No, I'm kidding.
I actually stopped myself. So
I'm not a
I
cheater.
knew I trusted all of you. Actually, Worm, you saying I'm not a cheater, for some reason believe.
It's
If
that
she's the baby.
autism in me.
So anyway,
I'm
yeah,
not a
no,
baby.
I'm actually the same way.
I said you're the baby of the group.
Completely off topic. In school, my English professor was like, "You're not allowed to use AI unless you're trying to get a title for your paper." And I'm like, I'm probably not even gonna do that because my brain literally will not allow me to cheat because my TISM is just like, no, don't do that because then it's not your work and that's lame.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I agree.
Siegfried.
Question on a spell's utility.
Okay.
The Ice Knife level 1 spell requires somatic components, so I can do it silently, and a material component of a drop of water or a piece of ice.
Mm-hmm.
Now it says that you create a shard of ice and fling it and it explodes after a ranged spell attack. What if I did not throw it and it did not explode and I just used it as a makeshift weapon?
Then at that point, you might as well just use shape water and shape a ice knife. Just make a sharp, like
But
a
I was-
sickle in your hand, basically.
Yes, but I was trying not to. That felt unfair to not use, because that's
Either
all
way-
I can do class stuff.
Either way, all of that would be improvised weapons.
And that's fine.
Are you
was
proficient with
just-
daggers?
Actually, let me double check. I believe so. Because they are my main weapon. Yes, I am proficient in daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaffs, medium armor, and all martial weapons.
So, I would say it would be an improvised weapon, but because you're proficient in daggers and you could make it ish like a dagger, I would say yes, you can use it as if it were just a dagger, but it won't have like the magical properties of the ice knife spell. What it will have is, though, that it is a chunk of ice that you're using as a weapon. It could possibly just break when you use it. So you're guaranteed at least one attack with it, but after you can't really make any promises. But of course,
Well-
you can always remake them. Just being a cantrip.
And that
Or not
is
a cantrip.
cantrip.
Yeah.
So if I do that with the shape water cantrip and my cryomancy abilities, that would be a dagger. Okay.
Yeah. A disposable dagger, if you will.
Yeah. Which is fair, because I'm basically converting the
Yeah.
damage of a cantrip into a weapon. Okay.
Yeah, and it would just be a dagger at that point, not magical in any way.
So
Just a
first
device.
first question asks Siegfried, do I notice anything in this room? Like, is any of my gear in here?
There's lots of crates and barrels and stuff in here, as you can see. Most of them seem to just be like textiles and stuff. This seems to be a repurposed like sewing room almost.
I see.
And that each of these rooms maybe were supposed to be bedrooms, and now they're used as cells. At least what you could assume based off your experience with what just happened being locked in this cell. And you're looking at the other doors, and they all seem to have like the same kind of reinforced door with the rotwood and then the rotwood lock on top of it.
Okay. Can I see if any of them are actively locked
No,
or actively latched?
all of them are actively latched,
So it's possible there are other people here.
except the room that you were in.
Because I just opened the latch. Okay. I am going to try to come to this closest door.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, could I make a perception check to like listen or hear, or if there's anyone on the other side?
Don't even need a check. You don't hear anything.
All right, then I would like to open it and investigate inside of that room.
Yeah, you open it up. It looks very similar to the room you were just in.
So no storage or anything, just a cell.
Just a cell. You do notice that there's also a chair here, just like in your room. It's a different kind of chair, but it's still just a regular chair.
And there's nothing. Is there more water that is just loose in this room?
No, but you look at the toilet bucket from where. By the way, if you couldn't gather, the water puddle
That was a
underneath the
toilet.
bucket was you just formed piss into a hook and used it to unhook your door and blend your door technically.
But guess what? It worked.
It worked. It worked. This bucket seems completely empty, or at one point had something in it, but probably dried up.
Okay. Then, assuming that. So I'm assuming the left side is like the edge of the building again, because that's where I popped out of. These cells do not have other exits.
When you
Instead
say
of going
left
to
side,
the
do you mean
right.
the west side.
Of the map, the west side of the map. Yeah, sorry, I am not thinking well.
You're good.
So he's going to come down here because he's assuming that if he goes to the east, that'll open up into the main building.
Okay.
So, do I hear anything on the southern?
You hear like a weird echo almost, but that's about it.
I'd like to unlatch and peek inside this room.
Yeah, this doesn't even have a latch. It is just a wooden door, no reinforcements or anything, and it is a hallway that you see.
Okay. It is dark. I see.
You do see light down the hallway. I know it's not registering for you.
Yeah. Is that a candle on the table?
Yes, it is. Would you like to?
May I take that candle with me as a source of light?
Of course. I'm going to do this. Oh, maybe I'm not going to do this. Hold on. Hand tool. Grab. Ooh.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hold on. I understand it's on the prop layer, but don't move for a second.
Sure.
If I do, oh, that's not the right tool. If I do this, no, hold on. What if I do this? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out my own tool. Layer.
That's fine.
Attachment. I'm cooking. And then attach to Siegfried. Now move your character token.
It's there.
Perfect. Did it right. I'm a gamer. All right. Well, you do you.
Unfortunately, now I can't move my character.
Hold on, let go. It bugged. All right, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because the prop is interacting weird. There you go.
Yeah, and that's gone.
Hold on. Now do it. Just don't touch the prop. Touch your character, like the border of your character.
I was gonna say I can't.
Huh?
You can. I can't. It turns into the finger. Instead of okay, now I can do it. I couldn't for a minute there. All right. So is this like a door or just an opening into another room?
What do you mean?
To the west.
I mean, you can see this room, right?
Yeah, I can see it. That's what I'm saying. Is it an open door or
Yeah,
is it
it's a
just
door.
like an
It's a
opening?
door, yeah.
Okay.
Door. It's a bathroom. Oh,
Oh,
I
okay.
accidentally just removed the door. Hold on, stand by.
That's fine.
Boom. Yeah, it is a.
I know this feels like I'm kind of not being fair, but as a Cryomancer, I feel like any water source is fair game.
Yeah.
I would like to see if there is a water bucket or a wash bucket in here that I can use as a source of water.
This toilet you see, it is a slab of wood fashioned into a toilet seat, and underneath is a bucket that is empty.
I was hoping for like a wash basin or something. Okay,
Nope.
never mind.
No running water in the
Yeah,
ground. Anyway, the echo you hear is coming from this. It sounds like talking, like a conversation
All right.
going on.
How do I need to make a stealth check to get closer?
You can if you would like.
All right. Let me double check what my stealth is. +5. +5, of course. I should have known it was going to be +5.
Yeah, you have high stats because you rolled well on the D100.
I did. So I got a
Not when you
10,
roll a
which is
5,
average. Hey, it brings me up to a 10.
10 is true. But yeah, you rolled a 10 stealth, so you want to get closer to that door?
Yeah, I'm not going to get like super close, but just like trying to get close enough to make out the words. So stop me when I'm close enough to make out words.
All right, so you get up to this door. You still hear like it sounds like the chatter of just people talking, just like a conversation happening. It doesn't. Nothing really sounds important. Like you hear someone being like, "Oh, I didn't know when I discovered I could do that. I mean, does it hurt at all?" And it's kind of sore, but that's about it. Then you also hear like the sounds of eating, and then you also hear a voice that you recognize and a voice you don't. None of the voices except one you recognize. And the one you recognize is talking with another voice, and it's saying basically like, well, I mean, was it difficult to get them? And then the voice you don't recognize says, I mean, they did kind of put up a fight, but they were nothing. They were light work.
Now, Siegfried, if I remember the conversation correctly, he knew that they were going for his allies, right?
Siegfried
Like they were going to
knew-
go get his allies.
Yeah, Siegfried knew that there was already someone coming to get not just your allies, but also you. But the fact that you just kind of literally fell into their lap was a pro. It was a
So-
convenience.
So can I safely assume that Siegfried would assume that they're talking about his teammates?
Presumably.
Okay. Now knowing that they are here and that this room is danger beyond this door, I would like him to kind of just move back to this
Yeah,
hallway.
simple enough.
Yeah. So he gets back to here.
Yeah.
And he's just immediately going to be like, okay, I know that the person who took me is here and the person who took them is there in that room. And they're eating, so they're going to be distracted. I'm going to go explore this way.
Yeah.
Again, everything he comes to, he's going to try to open up and look and see if he can find like his missing gear
Sure.
or maybe their gear or whatever
Sure.
he can find.
You easily enough open this door.
Mhm.
And it just looks like a bedroom with 4 beds. I will say some things though. Some more like tailoring sewing gear here. And this bed is kind of well kept, well made. A couple of different pillows just all over it. They all look crocheted. They're all this like weird color of like bluish green. And then this bed over here seems like it hasn't been touched in like weeks. There's nothing really personal that you can see here, but there is like a box here that has a big lock on it. But it's not a very large box. And it's okay. It's whatever. It's just a box. Then over here you see a very not well kept bed, as you can see. Like messy, not well kept at all. Like someone just kind of goes to sleep in it and then wakes up and it's just a bed, like a nest almost. And on this wall there is a block of ice, but it's almost like a resin sculpture where it's just daggers upon daggers in here. All look very specialized in different things. One looks like it's really good at like cutting Achilles tendons. The other one looks like it's really, really good at opening someone's body where it's not supposed to be opened. One of the other daggers that really catches your attention looks like a replica of the daggers that you had found previously, but is very clearly not those daggers. But this, instead of having a purple or a blue gemstone in the handle, or in the hilt, excuse me, has a red gem in it. And then this bed over here is kind of well kept, not as well kept as this one. But the belongings around it kind of just seem like papers upon papers, and it has writings and drawings on them in a language you do not understand. The drawings, though, look like blueprints of buildings. And they all have a very specific logo, wax seal stamped in the corner of it. And, of course, you know what that seal looks like. It is an eyeball surrounded by, where did I post that? Where was that posted? Shared player notes? Yeah, it is an eyeball. I'm just going to draw this over here so the recording can see it. It is an eyeball surrounded with wispy smokes and stuff. The seal of the Fourth Sun Coalition.
Damn. Well, seeing that now, immediately guard is up. Because again,
Yep.
he knows already how the leader feels about the Fourth Sons.
Yeah.
So he's starting to get a little on edge, even knowing he's moderately safe.
Yeah.
And he's just going to start moving quicker.
Yeah, you just teleported back, Nightcrawler style.
Teleported. Oh, I was moving slowly.
No,
Yeah.
it just, my eyesight bug, I fixed it.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So again, another to the west, he's going to check it out.
This one is locked, but from the outside, so you easily unlock it, and you can easily go in. No candles in this room, which is weird. You see like a stack of firewood here, and then 2 doors. But these doors both, they're not open, but they are like cell doors, and they look even worse than what you were in. And then over here seems to be a storage room that is unlocked. You're easy enough to go through. And it has a bed, but this bed doesn't look like it's something that someone sleeps in. It looks like it's just stored here, and then there is crates upon crates of stuff here. However, there is very specifically a lockbox here with a massive lock on it, just like the other one.
With a cursory check, can I see if any of my equipment is in here?
Give me an investigation.
Sure. Let me check my
With
stat for that.
advantage, because you can just comb through every single box except the lockbox freely.
So it's just a +3. Okay, finally something that's not 5. Let's see how this goes. Oh, I'm sorry, you said with advantage, should I roll it again, or is 14 enough?
14's enough. If you want to crit fish, you can, but it won't tell anything different, because all the stuff that's in here is just random knickknacks and stuff that, like, there's stuffed animals. A lot of crocheted stuff, actually. Like, a lot of stuff that's been crocheted.
Am I noticing a theme, then, of all the items that seem to be stored here? Is there, like, some kind of
Junk room.
overarching...
It's a junk room. But
Okay.
there is that lockbox that you could not get into. At least
I
unless
think-
you try.
I think he's going to note it, but he's not going to mess with it for now, in case it's got some kind of magical ward on it that will alert someone to it being touched.
Sure. The old don't touch it alarm. As standard
Yeah,
for
hey,
secret boxes. Yep.
it does happen.
It does, yeah, it does.
As a noble, I feel like that would be something he would be aware of.
100%.
Accidentally grabbed the light again. Coming down here.
So you come to this, and it has an open door, and it looks like a massive meeting hall, from what you can tell from a distance. Again, I know the light's a bit weird here, but assume that you can kind of just see.
Yeah,
through
just
the-
kind of see.
Yeah. But you can see that it is somewhat of a meeting room, very poorly lit. But you know.
So
you can-
likely there's nobody in it.
So I don't know what you can actually see. Oh, you can actually see everything you need to. There are 4 braziers in each corner. They are currently not lit. No one is in it, though. One notable thing you see is there is like a chest over here that does not have a lock or anything on it.
I would like to investigate the contents of the chest.
You open it up, and in the contents of the chest is trade bars and coins out the wazoo. It seems to be some kind of a bank of a stash of their money, of someone's money, I should say.
So useless for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Using critical thinking mind, just immediately going to close it and move on.
Oh,
No, I grabbed the light accidentally. Yeah.
Sorry.
Is this
These doors? You hear echoes coming through. Same conversation, but they seem farther away.
okay? And is this a door here?
This is not. This is
Oh,
a
right here.
painting. The painting, in fact, as you notice it, you recognize not the faces, because they're not actually faces. They have what you as a person in the real world would describe as a plague mask. They're bird-themed masks, and it seems to be a portrait of the famed heroes of Grovewood, Wren and Nightingale, in what looks to be their prime days. Cough, cough.
I was going to say, can Siegfried...
Oh, hold on, you're lagging.
Okay, let me know when I'm back.
I think you're back now.
Is it safe to assume for Siegfried in character to make the jump that this place is tied to them, Wren and Nightingale?
100%. But only because you already made the tie that Dosnik was in fact the 4th son of Wren and Nightingale.
Of Wren and Nightingale, yes.
Yeah.
But like this is there specifically.
Yeah, so from what you've seen so far, maybe not, but what you know of Wren and Nightingale, the heroes of Grovewood, is that one was a Waylander, one was a Hallinger, and you already know what happened to the Hallinger. The Hallinger being, of course, Wren, died because you found his body being eaten by rats.
Yes.
Nightingale, the Waylander, the mother, You don't know what happened to her. Now, again, Ren, you found dead with a new family, even though the general populace thought that they had been dead for a while. Nightingale, you know, presumed dead for a while. You're not too sure anymore. However, so far from what you've found, and knowing Doznik is one of their kids, and he said his family and his acquaintances and such that he's quote-unquote very close with, you could assume that they had more than just him as a child. Presumably because he claimed to be their 4th child. So you know at least they have 4. Maybe this is tied to them, maybe this is just tied to the kids. You don't know for sure yet.
Okay. Second question. Can I hear them smashing ice against wall through this
No,
wall?
because they did that while you were still in the other room.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
I would like to say that. DM, I would like to also say, no, Hasasha's been trying to just like, nope, I gotta keep trying.
He's got like 5 foot thick of wall between the
Yeah,
two of you.
that's
And
why I was asking.
I understand you can very clearly see them, but it's like
that's why I
solid
asked.
dirt and stone. You cannot hear them.
I did not assume. Yeah.
And before you ask, no, this is not a door. It is a.
I thought it was a fireplace.
Yeah, it is a fireplace that has been filled in with dirt. It seems. However, it looks like it was filled in with dirt from the top, which is interesting to you.
That is odd.
Yeah.
Is this a ledger of some kind?
Yeah,
of
I was about to say, you look at it and you can very clearly see not only a ledger, but it looks like it's names tied to dates. One thing that very instantly pops out to you, however, is the most recent name put in it is Siegfried, and it says Tade 1 Frostwatch. So, literally 3 days ago, and your name. And all of the names before it are names and date, and then there's a second date as well. Yours does not have a second date. Off the top of your head, you're like, this is very clearly a ledger of presumably prisoners or maybe just visitors.
Or potential recruits, as that was what was done with me.
That's up to you.
So this could be incredibly valuable information on their organization.
Up to you to decide that, but yeah.
Given that they have not made any antagonistic move, gonna leave it for now. Note it, but leave it. Like, do I recognize any names other than my own?
Give me a history check, please. Or investigation, but specify.
I'm going to say I did history. History's got a higher plus.
Okay. And when I say specify like that, that means, like, depending on the role, gives you a specific set of information.
Yeah,
so,
that's
like,
what I assumed based off of
history
Arcana
about the
and
Rotwood stuff gave you
Yeah.
different information than knowledge of the Rotwood itself and how to enchant it and stuff, if you had rolled the Arcana.
Probably should have done Arcana on that. Never mind.
That's up to you. Pass that.
All right, 23. That was 23 history.
You just history, okay. You briefly like flip through the numerous pages. There's like 50 or 60 pages that have been filled with like 100 names each, and you just kind of glance over each one, not speed reading, but you know, just looking through, and 3 names catch your attention. Okay. And those 3 names that catch your attention, 2 of which have the last name Waylander. Or, excuse me, just Wayland. Meaning they are direct descendants of Rosa Wayland. Okay. The other name that catches your attention, this is going to come out of left field for all of you, is Hyphene Adders. Which, in case you forgot, is, you know, the Empress of the Devedrosian Empire.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say I have no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's the Empress of
Adders I clocked, but I was like, wait.
Hyphene is the current Empress of the Empire. The Devedrosian Empire. That being said, the date tied to these names, the 2 Waylanders both are there on the same day. However, one left a week before, and this was about 2 years ago. Empress Hyphene was only here for about 3 days, and when she was here was last month. So, if this month is Frostwatch, she was here during Landfall. Landfall being like middle of winter.
So that actually seems important.
Okay.
So I am putting that in the character notes so I remember later to tell them.
Yeah, that's pretty good to mark
Yeah.
down.
Share player notes. That's the exact use for it.
Okay. Back to the characters. So he's not going to take, but is there like loose paper or a pen nearby?
There's a quill. You don't see any bottles of ink nearby, but there's a quill.
Shame.
And no loose papers, no. It's all bound in a book.
Okay. Well, it's always good to check it out.
Surprisingly, as you're like looking and seeing if there's any loose papers, you note that the leather work and the like stitching on this book is very well made. But anyway, I digress. So.
Oh wait, spell slots aren't a thing.
They're not. Why is that a question?
Detect magic.
Ritual or spell. So if you want to just cast it, you could just cast it.
I think I'm just going to cast it.
Yep. I mean, it takes about 10 minutes to do, but you feel like you've got.
Oh wait, just a regular cast? I thought the ritual was 10 minutes.
Oh, so regular cast you do have to make a check for, but if you want to ritual cast it, you just don't have to make a check for.
I think given the necessity of speed,
Sure.
you'd go ahead and make a check.
All right, go ahead and make that check then.
I'm trying to remember what that is. What's the DC?
It's a first level spell, detect magic.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's an
11.
11, right?
Yeah, it's an 11.
So spell casting versus 11.
Yep.
So it's
it'd
a
be D20 roll proficiency plus your spellcasting modifier. Yep.
So it's 50. So plus 5. Oh, plus 7.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Your con modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, and I have a 20 con, so yeah.
Yep.
So plus 7.
Yeah. Ferno,
First
you
level
streaming
spell.
tonight?
Okay.
Yes, I currently am.
Nice. I don't know if you heard, but I am recording tonight as well.
Yeah, I heard it.
I'm gonna link your stream in the description.
Sure.
That's a 22.
22. One thing you notice, there's a crate here. There's a couple things you notice, but I'll list them off in order of vicinity to you, okay? So, there's a crate here, and at first glance, it is just a box of crocheted things. They all have magical properties. Various schools of magic, but all of the crocheted things have various properties. Additionally, there is a massive, if you can get closer to this area, you'll see it on the map. There's a massive set of horns on this wall.
Magical.
Very magical. They look like just deer antlers. However, being this imbued with magic, you could presume they are something else. And then the third thing is the 4 braziers in the corner. They aren't just like braziers that aren't lit currently. They seem to have some kind of abjuration enchantment on them. Presumably that when they are lit, they do something.
Well, not wanting to alert people, because again, hearing people over on the other.
Yeah.
Probably the smart thing to do is to not finding anything particularly immediately useful for escape. Gonna leave.
Yeah. Okay.
Because this is about escape.
Yeah. Sure.
Information secondary. Escape first.
Yep.
So we come down here, check the west.
Door unlocked. No lock on it, in fact. And it seems to be another bedroom with 2 beds. You see this one. Again, this one has a rack of weapons, but these are all swords. Different kinds of rapiers, in fact, actually. And this bed's not well kept, but it's not well kept. It's like mid-range. That was a lot of words. You understood what I meant. And then there's a chest here.
Yes.
When you open the chest, there's just clothes.
And detect magic is picking up anything in this room?
No.
Because it lasts for 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, it does. No. Nothing in this room. One thing I will note is the clothes in this chest. They are massive. They look like clothes that have like a feminine kind of vibe to them, but they look like clothes for something bigger than your standard male body build. On this side, very disheveled bed once again, and there is a side table with a single rose, and this rose is made of ice.
Waylanders.
Yeah, Waylanders want text. This rose, it doesn't catch your attention right away with detect magic, but it has very, very, very slight transmutation magical properties, it seems. And then again, some firewood in the corner, some crates, nothing that catches your notice, and then just a table and chairs that has nothing really of note on it, except a candle.
Okay.
Also, all of the rapiers seem to be broken, by the way. Different makes and models of them, but they all seem to be broken in some way.
Okay. No smithing equipment or anything? Just broken. So there's no like smithing equipment or anything here, just broken swords? Okay.
Broken seems to be due to use.
Worn. Got it.
Alright, we're gonna break with you. You three, what are y'all doing?
Debating leaving these
still-
guys.
We're doing something?
I don't know. Were y'all doing anything?
Trying our best to break out of the.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, about 10 minutes in, you hear footsteps coming from behind the door. And
I
the door
Stop
opens.
trying to break this.
Yeah.
The door
So you stop-
opens.
The door
Someone coming
opens, and you
in.
see a man walk in, and he has got like an armful of just food. It seems.
Oh, is this the guy that had the arrow earlier?
He's not that one that had the arrow in his shoulder. He was the one that was tending to the wound of the arrow in what is a other person's shoulder.
Yeah. Okay.
So he walks in, and he says, "I've got food for you. I am going to put it on this table." He seems to be very awkwardly narrating everything he's doing, and he sets out 3 plates.
Your friend with the arrow. That's not the right voice. Why do I keep using that voice? Your friend. Your. God damn it.
Yeah, one more try.
So how's your friend with the arrow?
My friend. Oh, you mean my sister Ava?
Well, I don't know if that's your sister. I've never met you.
That's true, I guess. I'm Gavin.
Hi, Gavin. Nice to meet you.
Sure, whatever. That was my sister Ava. Anyway, food. What was I doing? Oh, that's right. And then he starts setting up the three plates on the table. He's gonna be like, "Since you have so many questions, you're first." And he kind of like rubs his hand along the chain, chaining you to the wall, and it kind of unforms and reforms back around behind you, and he drags you over to the chair. He sets you down, and he stands on the other side, and he pushes one of the plates forward. They all have the same thing. It actually doesn't seem like a bad meal. It seems like meatloaf and peas and some mashed potatoes. And he kind of waves his hand again, and your manacles, not any of the other chains, but your manacles loosen up so you can move your hands freely. They're still chained together around your waist, but you can move and eat if you need to. And he says, "Eat." And he seems to be, like, tapping on his leg, like he's keeping time for something.
Pushy.
Do what?
Very.
I said you're pushy.
I'm not pushing, I'm just scheduled. Anyway, eat. You don't have a lot of time. And he goes back to mumbling and tapping on his leg.
I mean, I guess I'll eat a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you eat.
In an ideal, actually, you know what? Wait, before I put any of the food in my body,
Yeah,
I would like.
medicine check.
No, I was actually gonna say I would like to cast Purify Food and Drink.
Yeah, you cast that. That's a first level spell?
It's a first level spell. Technically, it's original, but I will roll. Just 'cause-
I'll let you not have to roll, because he is saying, like, you don't have a lot of time, but he seems like he's going to give you an amount of time to eat, and I'm just going to let you ritually cast it as you're eating it, like, piece by piece, you're purifying, and that's the ritual part of it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so you just eat it piece by piece. As you're quote-unquote purifying it, you don't seem like it was tampered with at all. There was some salt. It seemed like a little bit too salty, actually. But other than
Evil
that, it
salt.
wasn't anything.
Evil salt.
It wasn't actually anything dire. That being said, you get done eating, and like right as you're about to take the last bite, he like reaches forward and slams the fork down. Time's up. 10 minutes. Let's go. And he drags you back over and reforms the chain around you. And he very hastily grabs you, Hasha. And he's like, all right, chair, let's go. 10 minutes. And he sets you down. And he pushes another. He very, like, stands almost identically back in the same spot, pushes the plate forward from this side, and then does the same motion, and then starts tapping and mumbling under his breath, counting again.
Hasha's begin eating, and then she just be sitting there as like, rude motherfuckers.
Not rude.
And she would just put one of the pieces of food in her bra, just like nope, saving this for the fucking later. Concerning the fact that we might be here for a while.
Okay, meatloaf, peas, and mashed potatoes. I don't think would be the most comfortable in your bra, but
nope.
I digress. You do you, boo. Also, would you wear a bra? You don't really have like, you know, chesticles or anything.
But fashion!
Sure, I guess fashion, whatever. You know, for the visibleness of bras, I guess.
Listen, there's a reason some people wear padded bras.
Yeah, but...
It's because they don't have much going on.
Yeah, but y'all don't have a reason to look like y'all have anything going on, is the thing. Because again, y'all aren't feminine or masculine. You're just kind of, you know, Mayfai. Y'all just kind of are there.
Is
anyway,
fun not a valid reason?
I guess, yeah, sure. Hasha's, what would like a... It's not even a cross-dresser. Anyway, whatever. You have a bra, I guess. Sure. And you put some mashed potatoes and peas in there, I guess. And maybe some meatloaf, too. Who knows? Do you eat any of it?
Yeah, she's eating it and just putting a little bit in there.
Sure.
Like, she'll put a piece of meatloaf up in there, and that's about it.
No peas or mashed potatoes in your useless
Nope.
bra? Understood. You just got some juicy meatloaf in there. Great
And
meatloaf,
we're just
by the
all
way.
watching.
Yeah, y'all just all watching Hasha stuff some meatloaf in her bra and eating. Gavin's very strangely looking at you, and you kind of see he skips a beat, but then like doubles up a beat to like compensate, it seems. And then as you're about to take, like you're halfway through. What?
Oh, she wouldn't notice. It's like, oh, I'm about to throw this man off beat.
Yeah. And then he goes, like, as you're like halfway through the meal, while you were like trying to figure out how to stuff the meatloaf in your bra or whatever, he's like, all right, time's up, let's go. And he walks you back over, chains you back up, and says, all right, big guy. Kind of takes a step back. You're like, just go over there, please. And he's gonna like magically drag the chain through the air because he does not seem like he wants to get anywhere near you. And he just drags you to the chair. From a distance.
Just squeezing.
Yeah, you like abruptly like, is this gonna be enough food for you? Well, whatever. And then we got a schedule, and then he pushes the food in front of you, waves his hands so your hands are free, and then he starts tapping again.
I just want to ask, is normal food appetizing for my...
Again, you can eat
Yes.
it, but
Okay.
it's not like beneficial to you at all.
Great.
But he
So
doesn't
if I
know-
like...
he doesn't know Firefolk biology. He doesn't know you eat rubble and soot and flammables.
Do I starve at all? Do I eventually
you
need
fuel.
rocks and
you need
fuel?
fuel
Yeah.
to literally keep burning, but you know, a piece of wood or you know, a chunk of coal from time to time, even some gold from time to time to melt into your system is good enough. You don't
can't
need
just-
to eat a lot, basically.
Yeah.
You're kind of like a camel with water when it comes to food.
Yeah.
But not
Can't-
nearly as long as duration. But yeah, you could technically you can eat this food and you'll get nutritional value, but it's not like the same kind of nutritional value. It is
Yeah.
burnable fuel, but it's not as if it was like a chunk of coal or gold or something.
Yeah, he'll just like look down at it and just look back up.
Yeah.
Do-
But it's not enough, is it? He pauses.
Do you-
tapping.
Do you have any minerals? Any
Like
coal?
minerals. He walks over here and he looks at this pile of rubble and he's like, looks over his shoulder. Would marble work?
Marble work?
Yeah, marble would work just fine.
Okay, yeah, just make sure.
Marble's like ice cream for you, I guess.
Yo,
He picks
ice
up like
cream.
2 or 3 bricks of marble and just like puts them on top of the meat. Like he doesn't even move the plate. He just puts them on top of the food that's on the plate. And he starts tapping again. Hurry up! 5 minutes.
Yeah. He'll start grinding them,
Yeah, you just
consuming them. Yeah.
it's like a meat grinder almost, just like starts bubbling up and popping and crackling as it wakes up. Yeah, it just starts. Yeah, and he's like, I did not know I'd ever need to witness that. Anyway, all right, back to your chain, and he steps back again and starts pulling you through the air with the chain. Yeah.
I was about to say, can Homeboy resist it to drag him closer?
Would you like to try and resist it, Ferno?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you get chained back up. He moves.
He's
over.
he's just staring daggers at this guy as he.
Sure. Yeah. He moves back over to the plate. He picks up. He looks back over his shoulder. Yeah, that's right. He puts Jade's plate on bottom, Hasha's second, and then Ferno's now rubble-covered plate on top. He picks it back up and then very abruptly moves in a perfectly straight line toward the door, closing the door behind him. And that is how we roleplay OCD characters, because I'm not OCD.
I was about to say that was some OCD-ish shit.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, I realized we can fuck with this one.
Yeah.
Oh, on the way out, can I say, hey, your shoe's untied?
Huh? And he like drops the plates. I don't even have laces, damn it. And he slams the door shut. And you hear him like picking up chips of plate. Alright, back to Siegfried.
You missed a spot.
Before we move back,
okay,
can I talk with my party for just one moment?
Sure, go ahead.
So,
Yep.
just to be clear, do we know for a fact that the boss is here too, or?
Yeah. I'm guessing it's the fact that they brought us all over here without much care in the world. Boss has got to be here. 100%.
You want me to go look for him?
If you can, don't get caught.
I mean,
I know it's about
do you think
Yep.
do you think
I've
they're
been
going to
waiting
be
for it.
able to detect if I leave? They did just feed us. They probably aren't going to check on us for a little while. This is probably my best time to go.
Yeah.
All right.
What you say? What you say,
I'd like
Ferno?
to turn into a spider, pretty please.
Yeah, so, I mean, you saw the ice reforming and shifting around their hands and stuff. And you're like, I've got to do this fast if I do it. And then you instantly shift into a spider, and, like, the ice almost feels like it reaches for your now, like, you know, arachnid limbs and stuff, but you just you get out of the way just in time, and it kind of just all collapses and turns into this one little solid ice ball on the floor next to you, and you are a spider now. And we're gonna make you microscopic
All right.
size.
Microscopic.
Because you are a single spider, I'm presuming. Not a big
Oh
spider,
yeah, no, I
just
can't
a
turn.
regular-ass spider.
I can't turn into a swarm, and I just wanted to be a regular spider, not a giant spider. That would
So,
defeat the
You
purpose.
are microscopic, meaning you have a +6 to stealth naturally, just so you know.
Sweet.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
again,
Anyways,
you know, size matters. They say it doesn't, but it do.
size do matter.
Okay, so what are you doing?
I'm gonna start exploring the building. This lasts for. Let me just double check real quick. Oh shit, I don't have Druid open anymore. Wait, it's on my character sheet. Am I stupid?
Yes. If you have to ask yourself, then yes. That's what I tell myself.
Okay.
Are you asking how long wild shape lasts?
Oh yeah,
Wild
I'm
shape
an
just
out-
lasts... Do what?
an hour
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say wild shape just lasts an hour unless you're
Well, no, it lasts
knocked
longer if you're higher
unconscious.
leveled.
Well, I'm saying unless you get knocked unconscious. And
Yeah,
that
okay, anyways.
increases- Yeah.
So I have an hour. I'm gonna go try to find our boss, and I have 2 uses of wild shape, so
So you
I can
technically do
unshift when I find him.
Yeah. Okay.
Unshifting is not a use of wild shape, I thought.
It's not, but it
not
means
a-
I can shift back when
Oh,
I
yes.
find you.
Yeah. So, you do you. What are you doing?
Well, could I maybe just not be
Yeah,
tiny
I'll
for the
make you
purpose of
bigger, but-
moving my character
yeah.
around?
You are microscopic for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
So door's
shimmy
not
under
actually
the
opening, you're
door.
just going under it.
Yeah, I'm just going under.
So you can move through it, because it won't let you if you don't. So there you go. It's open.
Okay. Is this like a hallway?
Yep. It was at this moment she realized she does not have dark vision.
No,
You
but
come out back into this main room.
do spiders have dark vision?
Do spiders have dark vision?
Yeah, they do. They do.
I thought they had tremor sense.
Yeah,
their
I have 30 feet of dark vision as a spider.
Okay, well then I'm gonna give you 30 feet of vision then. 30. Do they have tremor sense too?
I was gonna say it would make sense,
Not
but
giant
no.
spiders.
No.
He's a regular spider.
Oh,
Regular
okay.
spiders
Well,
don't
And I'm
have
pretty
tremor
sure-
sense, but
I'm
they
pretty sure
do
they
have dark vision.
Tremor sense only
On their
things
webs,
that are on
yeah.
the webs. Yeah, I was about to say. Only
I
the
do
things on the web.
have web sense.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
that is. Tremor sense to things on the web. Anyway, you see this group of people sitting around a table eating. You also see the person who brought you here, Astoria, in her normal size. She's no longer large size. And she's not eating. That food is not actually there. She seems to be like, has like an alchemy kit in front of her, and she seems to be pouring things together and mixing different concoctions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So out of character, I will climb up the wall and then go over to the door and slip through the top part.
Maybe let
'cause-
her decide that, because you're not her. And you're also not in this room to tell her that idea either.
I mean, under or over doesn't really matter to me,
Yeah.
you know.
You're just a spider in the corner of the room, literally.
Under is where I'm going, just because it's easier.
That
Well,
is
I'm
what he said. Anyway,
I'm not gonna go anywhere near them, and instead I'm gonna go to the nearest door down this way. Trying not to metagame the rooms that I can see, because I can see some of the rooms.
can you?
Yes.
What can you see?
Mostly every
here.
room.
Here. Here.
Can you see them because of the light in them? Yeah, because the
Yes.
reason why is because I set it up because Siegfried has seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Siegfried has seen it, so.
So I'm just going in character to the nearest door that I can see, as to avoid accidental metagaming.
Yeah, because technically Siegfried doesn't. Yeah, it's because Siegfried
Yeah.
has been there. You should be able to. Well, you didn't have the. Technically, you had the vision when you went into that room, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, you come into this room. There's 4 braziers unlit on the 4 corners. There is. I mean, you see the things, and you heard the description too. So.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Yes, I did. Is this another door here?
It is.
That's a fireplace.
It was a fire. It seems to have been a fireplace, and it has been filled with dirt and rock rubble, seemingly from the top of it, not from the bottom.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go this way. There's another door, but presumably I
see
saw
under
it on the way
Yeah, you can
in,
see under it. It is just
and it
another
just goes
access
back
point.
to where I go.
Yeah.
So just keep on moving. I'm not interested in really looking around the rooms.
Okay.
Slither under here to the
Does spiders
hallway.
slither? I guess spiders can slither. Anyway,
Well,
Siegfried, as you
crawl.
walk into this hallway, you don't notice anything unless you give me a perception check.
Oh, well, if you insist.
And then Jade, just give me a passive stealth. What is your stealth bonus in total right now?
Perception's +3.
it is a +4, but since I'm microscopic, that's
Yeah.
gonna be a +10.
Yeah,
So
20 is what you have to be to just passively perceive her. Or not passively perceive her, but perceive her through passive stealth.
Yeah, no, that ain't
So
happening.
anyway, Jade, you see Siegfried just kind of walk out in the hallway. Above you, presumably. What do you do?
I'm gonna slither, not slither, but crawl. Sorry,
Skitter, I think is the word you're looking
words.
Get
I'm
that.
gonna crawl past him and go behind him here, see the door, and be like, okay, great, we can hover in here. And then, as a bonus action, because I am a Circle of the Moon, I am going to detransform.
I'm
like-
pretty sure detransforming is not even a bonus action. It's a free action to untransform. It's a
Oh,
bonus action
is
to
it?
Shift, but it's a free action to just drop
Shit,
it.
I don't play druids very
Either, but
often.
I'm pretty sure that's the rule. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, you unshift. Siegfried,
I'd be like,
you don't notice anything because you walk behind you. Jade, what are you doing?
I'm gonna be like, psst, boss, behind you. Back into the room, please.
And immediately he's just, yeah, I was gonna say, like he straightens up, like But then he realizes it's Jade, and he's gonna just kind of follow back into the room without saying anything because he doesn't want to draw attention.
Simple enough.
Yep.
Do you want to close the door behind you?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes, definitely.
Insert Minecraft door noise here.
Yeah. I was right. They did just come bring you, didn't they?
Yeah, they currently have us locked in another room with ice chains.
I
But
figured it.
I can be a
But-
spider, so
They probably didn't expect that. All right.
no one ever does.
Is there a way for me to get to that room without them seeing me?
No. They are currently in another room that's like a banquet hall. They all are in there, and while they seem maybe a little preoccupied, that seems to be the only way to get into our room, and it's not really a great idea. Maybe if you could cut through the fireplace in that last room, you could get through, but Also, under the presumption that I am whispering, just
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all very quiet.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why my voice went down here.
sorry. It's hard to be understood and picked up on a mic if I'm not speaking loudly and clearly. So, to be
Understood.
clear, she is whispering.
Yeah, no, I got
I'm
you.
not.
Got you.
Okay.
So, pause there. Ferno and Hasha. You hear footsteps coming down
Yes.
the hallway. And the door opens. And in walk two people. And they just kind of stop. They kind of look around. They try and look behind you, Hasha, and they're like, specifically this one goes, is there only supposed to be two of you?
Yeah, there were just two of us.
Deception check, please.
The third one was your imagination.
Oh,
Why
deception
would
with
you add-
disadvantage, please.
Why would you add that?
Deception with
No.
extreme
No,
disadvantage, please.
So no, but
You
No.
said
No,
it.
yo,
Not
you
the
said
character.
it. You said it.
You said it, yeah.
No, hold up. The last part was out of character. It's like,
No, you said it
your
out loud and you
imagination.
didn't specify, unfortunately. We all heard it. Go ahead and roll with extreme disadvantage, please.
Probably did.
If you'd like, you can use the inspiration I gave you beforehand to just make it a flat roll.
yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Nope.
My
the third one
line,
was
let's
part of your
see.
imagination.
Furno's not even bothered.
I only have
It's just-
fuck. I gotta roll flat. I gotta roll flat either way. Shit.
He goes,
12.
right, and he looks back and goes, go find them. And this one, who has not introduced himself yet, sprints out of the room.
God damn it.
Back to you.
Good job, Hasha.
Hasha and Siegfried.
Nailed
I
it.
mean, not Hasha and Siegfried, Jade and Siegfried.
I was
Sorry.
about to say,
Both of my Mayfais are I'm getting confused. The door.
how do
tries
you get
to
him?
open? Are you holding it at all?
Immediately, Siegfried is throwing his weight back against it, and he kind of gestures like shift.
You hear a.
Yep, I was gonna say bonus action, back into a spider, pretty please.
Okay, shit. Yeah, you're spidered. You hear a voice from the other wall you don't recognize. What the? Like a alternate slam into the door as well. Give me a contested athletics check, please.
Actually, when he does that, after she shifts, I'm just holding it for that first one. Can I backstep to where this chair is and let him go past so we can go past him when he shoots past? When he stumbles into the room?
Give me. So
And I'll go ahead and
are you
crawl
readying
on
an action to do
Siegfried.
something, or are you just letting this person fall?
No,
through the
like, I was going to say the first hit,
yeah, one slam and then.
it was me.
Yeah, I know. I've done.
Yeah.
I have younger siblings. I know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. But
So
the
yeah.
thing is the action is ready. So, like, I'm assuming it's backstep, ready to action as soon as he comes through. I would like to. Now, shit. That would take an action to make an ice knife. Fuck.
I'm gonna assume you still have the ice knife because you never use it for anything else.
No, I
Can I
didn't.
crawl on
So-
Siegfried?
Yeah.
Just really quickly?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
simple enough.
sure. It's safer that way because that way you don't get squashed.
Well, you
Yeah.
wouldn't know. It's a bug. It's a spider.
No, I'm just saying, like for her sake,
Yeah.
in this situation, it's safer.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hide in his hair.
Okay, yeah, simple enough.
That's gonna be very uncomfortable. But let's
It'll
go.
be awful for you. I'm so sorry.
Just a spider
Yeah,
crawling
no.
through your.
Siegfried is like, we are so going to talk about this later.
I saw. Did y'all see what Ferno said? Ferno has
I-
a list of reasons to dislike Hasha. Adds to list. Bad at lying. and
Well,
paranoid.
off my character then.
So Siegfried is going to backstep, ready action. That while they're off balance, he's going to try to point, grab them, but hold the knife to the back of their neck.
Sure, like a pseudo grapple almost. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
so roll-
like almost a grapple, but more like a if you do anything, this knife will sever your spinal cord.
Yeah. Okay. Let me shift the music real quick.
I was also about to say, if you don't do that, you can have the person who's a spider bite on the top of the head. Because
No,
you also
the whole reason I'm doing this is so she can get back to you guys.
So anyway, you step back. Go ahead and step back for me.
Yep, we come back here.
Through the door. Go ahead and do a grapple check, please. So athletics.
Can I get advantage because he's surprised?
I don't think she's surprised, seeing as how she knows she didn't lock her bedroom door, and that it doesn't have a lock on it, and someone was resisting. I will, however, say advantage because she's stumbling through. So she's not. She does not have the surprise.
Okay.
And she just has a.
Well, and so do I.
11. Well, a flat roll, no advantage, disadvantage is what I mean.
Oh, for her. Okay. Yeah, I've just got a flat roll, so we gotta hope this goes well.
14.
And she has 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So she rolled a 16 flat.
Damn.
So she kind of rolls out of it and already has her dagger drawn. This is a
Yeah,
very
so, like-
long fang life, like Karen bit almost. You're like,
Yeah.
why the fuck are you not in your cell?
And like immediately Siegfried's up in defensive position with his knife in front of him.
Yep,
Like reverse gripped in front of him in defense.
sure. She's
Why
got
the hell
her
was I this? Yeah.
soldier style. She's got like her fist in front of her face and her other knife in her hand pointed toward you.
And he's just like, why the hell was I this though in the first place?
You did kind of just show up there, didn't you?
Well, you know, the greeting was a little lackluster.
I know I'm in Oracle of sorts.
Did you see this coming?
No, but I do see her guts across the floor. Roll initiative. Hasha, you can. I mean, Jade, you can as well. If you would. By the way, do y'all like the regular 5e initiative, or do you like the initiative we used before? Which is the 2024 rules of like how you would enter combat, and then trading off turns.
So initiative is plus dex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're doing normal
I've got a
initiative, but
plus
do y'all
one.
like the other initiative better, or do y'all like regular 5e edition?
I
have
mean,
no.
I don't really care either way. Both are fine.
they're both
Well,
technically fine,
Because,
but
because y'all are all fucking indecisive as shit, just like me. Let's do a vote, yes or no. So, everyone in favor of regular 5e, say something.
Ferno raises his hand.
Okay. Everyone in
In that
favor
case.
of the new 2024 rules, say something.
It's the new initiative for 2024 rules, if you don't mind asking.
The ones y'all used before, where y'all describe how y'all are entering combat, and then roll whatever that skill that would be tied to it is. And then
I just want to say,
enemy, player, enemy, player, enemy.
I just want to argue that the new one allows the villains to have like a turn after each of our turns, which is why
Yeah.
I'm
Yes,
not
and that would mean
too
more
Yeah, I'm not a
enthusiastic
fan of
about
that.
it.
That well, but again, they balance it out because more enemies, less turns between. Like if there's 4 of you and like 30 enemies, only 5 enemies are getting to take a turn each round. Whereas if there's 1 enemy, presumably it's a big bad guy that's supposed to be strong, he gets multiple turns between each of y'all's turns, so it feels like it's a balance. So that's why that I like those. Whereas the regular 5e rules, it's just everyone gets a turn every round, no matter how many there are. And the reason I like the new rules as a DM is because that means not if there is ever more enemies than players, as a DM of the old ones, you had to waste most of combat's time describing what the enemies are doing, and the players didn't get as much spotlight, whereas now, the players always have their turns, and there's few enemy turns.
You never used 5e mob mechanics?
Say again? I don't like mob mechanics. They're lame and gross and feel like a wet mop being slapped against a sandy beach.
But is it not better than 100 extra turns?
It is, and that's why I like the 2024 rules, because they fix the wet mop getting slapped against a sandy beach feeling.
I have no dog in the fight, so I'll go with whatever you guys want.
Well, unfortunately, we have one vote for one of them and no votes for the other. And there's 4 of y'all.
It's hard to vote if everyone else is indecisive.
So, that being said, I'm gonna
what do you
roll
guys
for-
want?
I'll go
They don't-
2024.
Okay.
I'll go 2024.
So 1 for 1.
2024.
Okay, so
All
we're
right,
going
there we
24
go.
first. Okay, so instead of rolling initiative, how would you be entering combat, Siegfried?
All right,
As she
quick
says,
check
I
up
can
character
see your
sheet.
guts being spilled across the floor.
Checking skills.
Well,
I'm
that's
assuming. Is this a Waylander as well?
yes. Well, they look like it. They got the hair.
Let's see. I don't have my armor though, so I've got to make sure I take that AC boost off. Because right now I've only got the +1 from my class and my +5, so I've got a 16 AC and a 15 dodge class. This is gonna
I'll
suck.
edit that for you while you figure out what you're doing.
Yeah, I just realized this is gonna suck.
You said 16.
Is my detect? Yeah, 16 AC.
Detect
So 2
percent,
lower.
yeah.
Okay, so I can't tell if this person's dagger is magical.
It's been a long time since
Okay. That screws with my Arcana check idea. Oh wait, I've been in this room, so I've seen it. So I already know the layout of it. Is there anything in here I can use to my advantage? Like, environmentally?
Broken rapiers, ice rose, oversized clothes. That's like the main things, and then there's also firewood in the corner. Does that answer your question?
It does, unfortunately.
Okay, good. 'Cause that's all I had.
Yeah, that's fine. So the door is now open behind me.
Door is now open behind us. Oh, I should probably open
This is about to get very complicated, I think.
Fair enough.
007, boss. I mean, shit, just 07.
Yeah.
007 is GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's cool. So what I'm thinking of doing... My name's Bond. Okay. It's even better if you try the con rate.
Yeah.
My name's Bond. James Bond.
Anyway.
Yes. So she says that she is a bit of an oracle, and she sees my blood. Okay, cool. We're 5 feet apart.
Mhm.
I'm going to use resistance to cold. I'm going to drop Fog Cloud immediately.
Okay,
Woohoo!
roll to cast that spell.
That's +7.
Good job.
18.
Okay.
Just to immediately fill the room with magic fog.
Yeah. What's the radius of it?
Now I've got to go look it up.
Fuck, I didn't
It's
know
no, I've got it open right now.
Just flashbang.
20 foot. 20 foot.
I just hear Yasha scream in the background. It peaked the mic so hard. That was funny as fuck. 20 foot? Okay, hold on. Let me
Yeah,
just
so
do
this whole
Something
room,
smells
basically.
good.
Let me do this.
Wait,
Because it's 20 foot radius?
Does it say
20
20
foot,
sphere? or
20 foot
20
radius.
Oh my
20 foot radius sphere.
Oh my
So it's 40
God.
feet.
Where are you centering it specifically? In the
It's
middle
like a
of the room, so
fireball.
it fills up the entire room?
Exactly. And then I would I was just gonna say a check is an action though, which sucks. I was gonna say, could I try to like acrobatics back and kick the door closed? But
Disadvantage.
that's 2
Well,
actions.
Unfortunately, technically, that's 2 actions. Your entry
Yeah.
to the thing. What was the max roll that you did? Like the total of the roll? For
18.
The casting spell. 18 is your initiative order. For her,
Okay.
she's just going to make a weapon attack. So this isn't connecting yet. If it does connect, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 is her roll for initiative. Hasha, are you doing anything? Not Hasha, damn it. Why do you both have to be Mayfai?
Jade.
What are you doing?
Jade?
BRB, yummy smell, gonna go investigate.
Okay, everyone, take 5.
We'll take 5.
Yeah, everyone take
So,
Worst.
boss, how am I doing?
5. Yes,
Am I
me?
upsetting you yet? Yeah, am
Oh,
I
no,
upsetting
I'm
you
not
yet
upset.
with my
I'm-
use of skills?
I am ecstatic with your use of skills, but I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the restroom too.
All right.
Sean,
Yo.
I thought you was going to do the freeze her in place.
No.
With the fog ball.
The breeze, that's why I asked if she's Waylander. She's resistant to ice, just like I am.
Fuck.
So it would maybe slow her down a little bit.
I mean, the
But-
fog cloud was smart.
Mhm. Because now disadvantage on attacks against me after this first one. And it allows Jade to scurry out undercover without being able to be seen.
Plus, I don't think she's looking for a spider.
Exactly. Well, not only that, it's easier for her to get out now, is what I'm saying. Like, if she
Yeah.
wanted to shift back and get out, she could.
I thought
Or if
about
she
it.
wanted to
because
shift and attack.
With a 1 damage bite.
Well, no, I'm saying like if she wanted to get behind and shift
Yeah.
back. And then we just like
Okay, I'm back.
one
Is
on each
everyone
side
back?
flanking. We're waiting on Jade still.
Okay. What are y'all talking about?
We were just talking about the tactical possibilities of what I did.
Of the fog cloud and not being able to see
Yep.
anything now because it's heavily obscured.
So disadvantage on attacks against me, disadvantage on attacks against her.
Disadvantage
But
on
also-
random stuff.
Oh yeah, well,
Disadvantage.
Jade's back.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to startle you.
No, you didn't startle me. That's what we were waiting on.
we were waiting on you because it's your turn for initiative.
Yeah. What would
I'm
you like to
so
do to
very
enter
sorry.
combat as this fog cloud just fills the room?
Don't necessarily want to enter combat, to be frank.
You can
Okay,
just
yeah, you
hold
can just
that
whip
on
on
my
his
head.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold my action just to be like,
So, what is your held action and what will trigger it?
That is a great question. I have a lot of fun spells.
True and real, none of which you can cast while a spider.
Yes, none of which I can cast while I'm a spider. So, kind of just depends. If things get really bad, to where I have to detransform to help, I'd like to ready an entangle spell just to block an area.
So
Which I can't do as a spider, damn it.
specifically, You're casting entangle. Your free action dropping out of spider, which is fine. So your action will be to cast entangle. What is the thing that will have to trigger that?
Basically, if there's like a lot of people around us, and we need to escape through a narrow hallway.
So as soon as you're able to see, if you're ever in a shit show and you need to get out and tangle the group of people that isn't friendlies.
Yes.
Understood.
If things get to a shit show where I need to not be a spider, like if Siegfried goes down or anything.
Understood. For sake of ease of roleplay, go ahead and roll that cast.
Yeah, that's fine.
But disregard if you end up not casting the spell. Or if you
Ah,
fail.
damn it.
Like that is. So if you have to cast that spell, it will be a failed cast. But you have already
Cool.
cast it. Like, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
That being said, you go first. You cast, not you, but Siegfried, you go first.
I go first.
You fill this room with fog. Any bonus action or movement?
Let's see. Do I have a bonus action? I don't think I have any bonus actions. Checking.
And y'all are about to know my rules for how that Ferno knows about moving while being able to not see.
1d4 cold damage to your attack as a bonus action. I don't think that will. Well, ignores resistance and it turns immunity into resistance. Unfortunately, Fog Cloud's not an attack spell.
Nope. Nor does it do damage.
Nope. I'm checking my chilling powers right now to see what the deal is with them.
I mean, you could technically. The scientist
Freeze and
in me-
warp water
the
while you're touching it.
The scientist in me wants to say technically you could solidify this fog cloud. However, there would be some unfortunate occurrences that would happen, seeing as how both you and Jade are also in the fog cloud.
True,
And you
but it
can't
says
see
that
what
I
you're
can.
freezing.
Well, I was going to say, you may freeze and warp water while you're touching it. I could choose to freeze the water touching my front, not my back.
The issue, though, is you don't see how far forward you need to or around that you need to.
No, I'm creating obstacles.
That is fair. That's fair.
So, like,
That's
think
fair.
of it like ice
That's
clones.
fair.
So, Sub-Zero's ice clones, right? Where
Yeah,
you just,
100%.
boom, there's a...
100%. However, isn't that an action? So,
yeah, I'm saying, well, actually, Sculpture does not state whether it's an action or a reaction, or a
I'm
bonus
going to
action.
say it'll take the properties of shape water, which is an action.
Fair enough. I'm just checking through my options still, so...
And you're currently shaping water to have a dagger in your hand, meaning that that dagger would
True.
filter, so.
I don't, you know...
Shape water is instance-based. It can't be on multiple things, if you did not know. I think it specifies that actually in the spell description. I can't remember though.
I'm checking it now since you brought it up.
I can't remember 100%. I might be just making things up, but I'm pretty sure it specifies it's instance-based. It probably doesn't have that wording, but
If you cast this spell multiple times, you can have more than 2 of its non-instantaneous effects at a time.
okay. Well, then you have.
So I can have...
And a wall possibly.
mhm.
Not a dense wall, but a wall nonetheless.
No, so what I'd like to do is... it's an action, though, you said.
Yeah, it is, and you already got some action fog cloud.
All right.
Action economy.
I'm
everything
trying...
flat.
I'm trying to think of... Because I can't disengage, so if I backstep, it's another swing.
Mhm.
But she can't see me, so does that mean that I'm still technically in her area of influence?
Opportunity attack says if if a creature you can see leaves your attack range, your melee attack
Now,
range, then you get an opportunity.
Is
attack.
blinded...
Not
Does
blinded.
blinded negate it?
She is not blinded, and none of you are blinded.
Wait, heavily obscured, does that count for cover?
Heavily obscured it counts for being heavily obscured, which is its own like, rule.
She'll still get disadvantage on attack.
I'm gonna have
Yep.
to look up heavily obscured now, just because I'm curious.
I'll read it out loud to all of you. So heavily obscured.
Because-
Heavily, if I can type it, obscured. I'm looking it up specifically so I can word for word it. Obscured. I can spell. No questions asked there. So,
Huh.
heavily obscured.
Shape water can freeze.
Effectively blinded.
Effectively blinded, but it does not give you the blinded condition. Just like invisible is a condition, it does not mean you're unable to be seen.
That is oddly semantic.
Effectively
Yeah,
suffers from
that is
blinded
5e in a
condition,
nutshell.
Trying to see something.
Yeah, I know, but that's not
It's
how 5e works it.
crazy.
Anyway, heavily obscured area, such as darkness, opaque fog, or dense foliage, blocks vision entirely. A creature effectively suffers from the blinded condition when trying to see something in that area. But she is not blinded, so anything that would affect blind creatures or wouldn't affect blind creatures still affects or doesn't affect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Also, the presence or
how
absence of
does-
light and environment creates 3 categories of illumination: bright, dim, and darkness. Heavily obscured from the fog does get affected by lights and stuff. So
Does
you can
my
see-
candle go out?
It doesn't go out, but you are glowing. But the thing is, like, if you've ever had headlights in fog, that's what candle is.
It's diffused.
Yeah.
Just blinding.
But you are a glowing orb, effectively, which is represented by, I don't know if you
The
can
white
see-
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
So, can I bonus action set down the candle?
I mean, you could just free action set down the candle, yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's
And
just
then,
object interaction, which I allow as a free action because 5 rules.
yeah, I was like, this seems
Unless
like something I should
convenient.
be able to do as a bonus action.
Yeah, you could just set it down. You could just drop it if you wanted. Either way.
No, I'm setting it down so that it's a false.
Yeah. It's not like you can see in darkness or light, or fog anyway, so you don't need it.
But it's still creating a diffusion effect that is disorienting.
Yep.
And now, since I can't see, I'm still going. I'm willing to take the opportunity attack. I am going to try to back up
Yeah.
because the door is behind me.
So, now I am going to describe my navigation while not being able to see rules that Ferno had to suffer through. But it was sand, not fog. So,
Yes, I remember.
seeing as how you are a character that takes up a square, and unless you're large size, there are 8 squares to move around you, please roll a d8 to see which way you move. You,
I can't
however,
just choose to step backwards
You can choose to step backwards. However,
because I cast the spell. I know it's
Could you
behind
not
me.
just like
hold on.
put your hand on the wall where we're in like a
He wasn't
almost
directly
5
against the
foot,
wall,
5
though,
foot?
So he'd have to find it. Now, the
Okay,
reason
fair
I'm saying
enough.
roll is because as soon as you cast the fog cloud, you are moving out of the way of her trying to attack. So there could be some.
That's right, I dodged
disorientation there. Yeah, because she didn't hit you. So you could have had some disorientation there. So that is why I'm making.
So you said
roll.
D8.
Yeah, D8. Because there's directions that you can go. Okay.
2.
Yep, and by the way, just so y'all know, on the DM side, I randomly assign a number to each of the squares before you roll, so it's not like I'm changing my decision
Okay.
on where you go.
Wait a sec. Are there 8 squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 6 for me because the 2 corners are walls.
Okay, that is true, but you could just bump into a wall if you roll one of those, but you didn't, so there's that.
Okay. Where do I end up?
That's annoying that I couldn't do 2 sets of fog. Oh, I can! Okay, nothing is moved, so this is not where y'all are at right now. I forgot I can do different layers of fog before. So this,
I wish I could like ratatouille him.
that would be funny.
That would be very entertaining. Especially because he has really good decks, so that would
I just
actually be
realized-
possible.
Dark,
If I could see
doesn't
through the
dark
fog,
vision
but I
allow you to
can't.
see that?
No,
Yeah.
it's merely just a funny
It-
speculative.
It does nothing for fog. It is obscuring is obscured.
Yeah,
Game. I'm sorry.
It is
you
not
can't
dark.
say I
It is
tried.
obscured. Yeah.
you're good. That's just a common knowledge thing. What the hell? Okay, I cannot do the fog thing then. God damn it, that'd be cool though.
Nope.
It's fine.
Okay, so we're just gonna do this instead, and you'll know that you can see your character when you see your character. So this is no longer attached. So
Yep.
detach because you sat it down. Invisible. Visible. Okay, so what did you roll? A 2.
I rolled a 2.
Okay, you moved. Jade, you also moved with it.
I can't see anything, and it is very distracting.
Yep, that's the point.
Now, the candle's still lit. It's just on the
Candle
ground.
is still lit. I'll tell you when, in orientation to the candle, you are. Right now,
Thank
same
you.
effective brightness. 'Cause you moved.
Okay,
How
well, that's-
far in that direction are you trying to move, by the way? Sorry, that's the second thing. You tell me how far you're moving. Until I
I'm
roll
trying
again.
to move until I wanted to move
Until you hit something.
5 feet. Well, I wanted to move 5. No, not until I hit something because that makes a noise where I can be heard.
True. Okay, so you just want to move 5 feet.
Yes.
Understood.
Because 5 feet straight back would have been into the doorway, and I would have been able to feel the doorway moving back.
Yep, you move 5 feet.
Do I feel the doorway?
Well, you move 5 feet. Here's what you feel. You feel what feels like a table. You also feel like a chest that's about knee high, or some kind of a box of sorts, and then you find a corner of a wall. The corner being a convex corner.
Got it. So I know where I'm at.
Yep.
Good.
Where-
I'm so glad I investigated. So we are actually at the foot of one of the bed by
At
the
foot of
table
both
where the
beds.
rose is. Yeah.
The table you're feeling has the rose on top of it.
Mhm. And the knee-high chest is behind us
With
to
the oversized
going
clothes,
towards the
yep.
bed. Yep. So I know exactly where I'm at.
So, any more movement?
No sensing that. However, I would like to just try to hold as still as possible and listen.
Yeah, no stealth roll or anything because you don't have any action or bonus action.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, I'm
listening
just
is-
listening.
Yeah.
So that's it. And turn.
Yeah, her turn. She's gonna roll stealth. What is that? That's
2.
Well, I know it's a 2, but it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a 9.
What's her bonus?
Rogue things.
I love how you do math.
What? Count You know what it is?
You just count up.
You know what it is? Have you ever been a child in a child's class? I'm sure you all have. You know how there was a
Yeah.
method at one point taught that numbers, at least 1 through 0, had pips on them that you would count, and it was either just a single dot or a dot with a ring. If I'm adding 7 to something, I do dot ring dot ring dot ring dot for 7.
I have no idea what you're talking
I
about.
think I
I'll
kinda
find
get
y'all
what you're
something
saying.
after. I'll find you something after the
It's
show and show
fine.
y'all, but yeah, that's how
So
I count,
silly.
but I do it in my head. Listen, that's my tism. Y'all are just gonna have to deal with it.
How do you
Anyway,
pass in math?
how did I pass math? I don't know. Don't ask me. Actually, algebra and geometry way easier than basic addition for me.
Wow.
Anyway,
That's fair.
but again, that's just how my tisms. So, that is her turn. She's gonna try to make an attack, which y'all will hear.
On what?
A vicinity where she just attacked. You hear a as she flickers her blade through the air, and it sounds like it's kind of off your right shoulder.
Which shoulder?
Right.
Spider jokes.
Shut the
I think I'm
f-
funny.
all 4 of your right shoulders. 5 if you count Siegfried's. Siegfried. Or Jade, if you want to do something. But Siegfried, I know you're still holding your action, Jade. Siegfried, what are you doing?
Well, given I know that she's attacking to my right, I am going to, and assuming she missed, means she's probably not going to attack there again. I want to use my action to shape water in front of me to create like maybe an inch thick ice like panel
In front of you. Okay, understood.
in front of me, and then sidestep to where I just heard her miss.
Roll me a D8 then. Actually, roll
Like
me a
that's
D8.
my idea.
Do what?
I was going to say that's my idea is just move to
Yeah.
where I'm hearing.
Yeah, roll me a D8.
Okay.
This is for what direction you were facing for the ice panel. Okay,
1.
understood. And then you simply enough move to where she attacked.
And bonus action again. I don't have one.
Feel around for something.
Actually, I've still got that knife. I've got the knife. I could offhand, technically. Yeah, but instead, what I want to do is, can I offhand throw it in, like, not trying to hit her, but like trying to get it across the room to make a noise?
Roll me a D8 to see which way you throw it. Technically,
Fair
you're
enough.
not able to throw as an offhand. You're supposed to action it, but I'll allow it 'cause it's just being thrown. It's like a toss. It's almost like a
Yeah,
yeah.
All right, let's see where it goes. 3.
Sorry, guys.
This is very frustrating.
you throw it and tink right next to it hits a wall.
DM to us.
Anyway, we'll pause for y'all right now.
Thank you.
Ferno and Hasha.
Well,
This man
you're
in front
too
of you
kind.
says, "Listen, I understand this is a situation. I understand this situation is extreme for y'all, but it's nothing. Your boss has already started filling out the proper paperwork. You all worked with me, not on me, not for me, but with me. We can be reasonable. I can take you to it now. Can we all be reasonable here?
So look at that over at Ferno.
I can be reasonable.
You want to do the talking?
Okay, reasonable it is. If I unleash y'all, I'll start going crazy. You've already verbally signed the waiver that I am not responsible for any injuries that may be incurred. Thumbs up, everyone's cool? We're all cool?
He will nod since can't really.
Looks over at Hasha.
She nods.
Okay. And he snaps, and nothing happens. It's like, fuck, that's right. Hold on. He walks over to the door. Hey, what's up? Astoria, you still out there? Hold on. Coming! You hear someone running up to the room. You get the chains off them? Yeah. And she kind of like pops out this cork of like a bottle, but it's like a leather bottle, and she kind of squeezes it, and this gas comes out, and it kind of just melts the ice from around there on all your hands. Why are we letting them go? Why are we letting them go? Sorry, I was trying to motion them. Anyway, why are we letting them go? He goes,
She's gonna. It's like, well, one of them's a drug addict in her head.
Estrogen.
Yeah. She goes, and he says, well, I'm taking them to Siegfried because the paperwork he's signing, and we're working together now. I told you this already. We just had the conversation. She goes, oh yeah, that's right. I was caught up in my chemicals, as they say. Anyway, and she runs out the door.
She look over at her friend and is like, boss sign us, and just gives him the look of, did the boss sign us up with some drug addicts?
No, she's alchemy. Never mind. Whatever. Come with me.
No, she doesn't. No. By the way, like she gave in front of the look of, we just signed up with some drug addicts, and he doesn't know it. And she's
I
like,
thought you said that. Sorry.
No.
Okay,
I said, look.
look.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
did boss sign us up with some drug addicts?
Yeah, Ferno, she's just looking at you. Anyway, he says, come with me. Take you to him.
He has a very like neutral look. Like he's not mad or
Sure.
anything.
Okay. He comes out this hallway. Takes me for Ferno. Comes this way. He opens up this door. He pulls out a key, actually, and opens up the door. If I could click this. Boom, there we go.
No, fuck you.
Shut up. Walks down this hallway. Give me a perception check, please.
Okay.
Both of you. Both of them.
Oh, fine.
Okay, Ferno, you don't need to roll Hasha. As he's walking up, you look down the hallway, and it's not well lit, but like you can see this area, right?
Yeah.
There's like a weird fog, but you're not sure what it is.
Somebody's getting steamy.
Anyway,
She says it in her head. She says it in her head. It's like, she's like, somebody's getting steamy.
for future reference, Hasha, if something's in your head or out of character, say that beforehand, not after. Anyway,
Yeah.
Doznik keeps walking into this
Well,
room.
I can just keep killing.
Starts walking up to this door. Hasha, are you following still, or do you stop to look at the fog? You have no
Like she's.
By the way,
I'm sorry,
that was a
give me 1
Ferno
second.
roll.
Say again, Ferno?
Yeah, she.
Doesn't Hasha also need to roll?
What do you mean? No, she didn't need to. She just notices it too passively.
Okay.
Because you rolled high. I'm not gonna make y'all have to be like, hey.
I mean, I didn't share it. I
Yeah,
just
I'm
look.
not gonna. Unless you say you're specifically not sharing, I'm not gonna make y'all like, hey, look at that. Blah blah blah.
I mean, I looked that way, but I didn't point out anything.
Anyway, he looks over his shoulder as soon as y'all are there. And he like falls through the floor, and there's just like a pile of snow that's left, and it goes away after a second. And then you hear behind you the door slam shut.
I heard this, man.
Anyway, back to Hasha. Fuck! God damn it! Okay, back to Jade and Siegfried and Ava. And now...
Just because we're the same race doesn't
What's
mean we're
the
the
door
same
made of?
person.
No, I know,
God.
but I
Right,
see
this is just racism.
No, it's not even
Damn,
racist.
you're being
Here's the
racist.
thing. Here's the thing. Your names are on your token, so I don't know how I keep messing this up. Anyway, Ava, Siegfried, Jade, and another person, as you hear a, what the fuck is going on in your room, Ava? And then you hear, fucking, just help me. They escaped. Yeah, I know, that's why I'm coming to get you. Fucking help me! And you hear like a, fine, you hear a snap from fingers, and your fog gets dispelled.
Jackass.
What a dick.
And Jade, you're on top of his head, but I'm just gonna have you invisible so it's for fluidity's sake.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
fine.
you see the dagger at your feet right here, by the way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fun.
And that is Altair's action. A bonus action, he is going to disengage and move over here.
Rogues.
And rogues while text. And then he's gonna just kind of kite around the room.
Where's the ice wall? Because that was not part of.
Ice
That
wall
probably
is
wouldn't be
right
the spell.
here.
Of course it is.
Yeah, and he just kind of moves past it. That's what the D8 was for where you casted it, because you walked this way.
I'm
you were facing that
so-
way, basically.
Frustrated. I do not like that mechanic.
Yeah, it's annoying, but that's what obscured vision is like. It's annoying because you don't know where things are. But it's okay. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen often. That's the second time it's happened in like 2 months of.
I mean, it kind of worked out in my case.
Yeah, it worked out for y'all because the dragon couldn't see it either. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. So that's his turn. Back to you, Siegfried. What are you doing?
We are going to action disengage because I'm not a rogue.
No. Unfortunately.
And we're sprinting for this door.
Oh, hold on,
5,
hold on, hold on,
10.
hold on, hold on.
Wait, but I disengaged. They can't
No,
hurt
no,
me.
I know. I'm just trying to unattach. I don't know why this is going with you.
Ah, fair
Alright,
enough.
there you go. Now you can.
It's still attached. It's just
What
attached
the-
like a square away, 2 squares away.
Fucking delete that shit. Whatever. Okay, now go.
Okay. So that was 5, 10, 15.
Now, Jade, you
One.
can see in the dark. Of course, he can't. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
when in need of vision, I will make you visible so you can tap on his head with your skittery, scrawly things and do things. Anyway,
Yippee.
no action or anything required to
Wahoo.
navigate in dark if dark.
Yeah,
Basically,
just
what
gonna.
you're doing, 5, 10, 15, that's 20 feet.
5, 10. Yeah. Goes down
'Cause you had to
1
go
square,
through
2
doors,
squares,
so
3
5,
squares.
Yeah. Now, normally diagonals count, but because there's a whole doorway situation.
Yeah, that's why I counted it that way. So we're 20, 25, 30. 30 is my limit.
Okay.
Bonus action. I think 30 is my limit. Let me double check it on my character sheet.
It should be. There's
Should
no
be
change
30.
for either of the
Yeah,
race
30.
or the
All right.
battle music.
Do I have?
Actually, one thing you do see when you
Do
go
we?
out to the hall before you make that decision.
What do I see?
At the end of the hall, the door that you originally came out of, you see a shadowy figure against the thing.
That I originally came out of.
Yeah. Go all the way down at the opposite end of this hall.
Damn. Too far out of my range.
But anyway, use that information. as you will.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what. I don't think there's any bonus actions just available to be used. Because all my spells are actions. I action disengage. It's not a bonus action to disengage, right? That's a rogue thing.
That's a rogue or
Yeah, that's
thing.
a rogue.
Okay.
And sometimes if you have Expedious Retreat thing.
Can I?
It's not even
Because I'm assuming Okay, this is a stretch, and I am going to admit that it's a stretch before I ask if I can even do it.
So everything you've tried so far, but yeah, go ahead.
Hey, most
Not
of my stuff's been clever.
Yeah, clever, which is good. I love creativity. But anyway, go ahead.
So remember how I asked if I could use ice knife?
Yeah.
What is the secondary action that an ice knife takes after it lands?
So it's not an action. When you throw it as an action, it then explodes no matter what.
Yes, I'm wondering if I can.
Just in your hand, have it explode.
Well, here's the thing. I made an ice knife. Yes, it was with a cantrip.
And you threw it against the wall.
Yes. But you said it was there at my feet. Could I have it explode?
Like a delayed detonation ice knife
Yes.
instead of fireball. So, as you know, all of the damage that you do ends up being cold or eventually your choice of Northern Weave aligned damages, right?
Mhm.
because the spell delayed detonation fireball exists, and that would be ice, yes, it would be more damage, but that is how you would do what you're trying to do. So I'm going to say no with the first level spell.
Right. Let me
If
see what
even
my
the same
ice.
spell, you can't do.
Yeah, I'm looking at the ice bolt spell.
Yeah.
That's an action. Okay, never mind.
So, technically, yes, but because you
Not
didn't
yet.
cast the ice and ice spell to
Oh.
make the knife, because that would involve throwing it.
D&D.
It is a ranged spell attack. You can't do that way.
Okay. Like I said, just thinking of interesting things I can do with mice.
Yeah, 100%.
That's going to be the end of my turn.
Okay. Jade, do you want to jump in at all? I mean, it's the enemy's turn, but are you planning on it? Because you haven't seen.
You could web this that we've
So
exited.
technically, it would have been those two,
Can't.
Altair and Ava, that you could have webbed. But if you wanted to do that, I assumed you would have said something.
Yeah.
Can't web.
No, I mean the entangle spell.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Ah,
When I think entangle,
As
spider.
I think of
I
web
mean,
spell. I think of
boss,
the
if
web
you-
spell.
boss, if you say go and
Did
No,
you want to-
entangle,
I'll let you retroactively have entangled Altair and Ava if you wanted to.
I failed the spell casting.
Oh, that's right.
I would-
So would you have popped it on them?
Well,
Boss,
we
would
managed
you
to get
wanted me
out.
to?
No, because
Let
you
me ask
technically
Jade
rolled
this.
lower
Jade,
initiative than
Let me ask Jade this. Jade, when you saw Altair enter the room and then kite around to the shoulder of Ava, would you have considered that a shit show and need to get out situation, yes or no?
I'm thinking. I don't.
Not based
Think
on what
so?
has happened, but on what
No,
was.
not based on what has happened.
'Cause
A
it-
shit show is
Yeah.
a shit show is Siegfried literally going down
Yeah, she did mention that.
Yeah, understood. Okay, so you have not popped it yet.
or being like grievously injured.
Yeah.
Right now he's fine,
Okay. So that being
and
said,
he hasn't shown any reason to believe that he wouldn't be fine.
Yeah. So
I know
that-
I'm just being really boring, but I'm also
No, it's-
being strategic.
yes.
You're doing exactly what I hope you would do.
Exactly.
Anyone
So-
dying, preferably?
That being said,
So
we'll
that's the end
pause
of my
with
turn.
y'all. Yeah, we'll pause with you on the end of your turn. Ferno and Hasha, what are y'all doing? Not in combat.
What's the door made of?
What?
Can I attempt to just pry it open with my bare hand?
Give me a strength check.
Yep.
I'm gonna set the DC for this to be 10.
Yep, easy.
Yeah,
Four-
you just
14 on that.
kind of start pulling against the lock, and then
So,
it just busts open. And with that,
Surprise.
oh,
not
who's
technically
there?
an initiative still, and Doznik is not trying to combat, so.
Okay.
We're gonna do this, so you're in a square, just in case.
Yeah.
Doznik's like, God damn it. Listen, we can still talk about this. He's right there, and he points down the hall.
I'm
Can
not
they see?
fighting,
made
I
the
just
door.
don't like being locked in a room.
Yeah, well, I wasn't locking the room, I was just closing the door. It's weird to leave doors open, and you can tell that this is a meeting room. Look at the table and chairs.
Make him do a. Never mind.
And they see me behind him now.
Yeah, I was about to say,
neither
can
of
we
them have dark vision?
Okay.
I mean, is there candlelight on here, or is it?
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just,
yo, you're under the candle, so yeah, you can see them.
yeah. Can I just look over his shoulder?
I was just going to get them. I
No.
just teleport because it's easier to walk, or instead of walking, I guess.
Don't give me away.
I'll stand there and just observe.
So anyway, hey, and Doznik looks over his shoulder and goes, "Hey, Siegfried, your guys are over here. They want to talk about. Why am I fucking? Okay.
Okay.
Guys. So he didn't agree. I lied about that. Sorry.
I knew that was coming. I
Listen,
tried.
Siegfried- Siegfried, we don't actually have to fight. We could just let you go. Just because we share differences in opinions doesn't mean we have to fight. That being said, back to Ava and Altair's turn.
Yeah.
Or at least one of their turns. And it's going to be Altair. He's going to run out. And he's going to attempt to grapple you. Wait, 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, 25.
I love that's immediately what happens as soon as he says, "We don't have to." Thump.
Yeah. And then small terrier like runs out, kicks off the wall, and like tries to tackle you. Go ahead and give me an athletics or acrobatics check, please.
Oh yay! Thank you for acrobatics.
Yeah, that's
I got a
correct.
+7.
16, 17, 18, 19. Beat a 19.
We'll see. That's pretty tough for me.
Might have been +7. Average roll is
That's still. You jinxed me.
That's unfortunate, actually. So yeah, he like runs out, kicks off the wall, and like tackles you.
All right.
So he's on top of you. And he looks up, he's like, "We all talking or something?"
Immediately.
Siegfried, it's your turn. You're currently under him.
Okay. So, time to check my spell list.
Grappled, not restrained.
Grappled, not restrained. This is going to be fun.
Because he's not a grappler.
Uh-huh.
He can still attempt to restrain you, but not as the same action.
Mhm. Looking at my ability.
We're 30 minutes out of our 8 o'clock, just so you know.
All right. I'm going to say... Again, I don't have my gear, which pisses me off. I'm stuck in this super
Which is why
disadvantageous
Ferno
position.
has done nearly nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Their gear is still out in the car.
I don't know where mine is.
Yeah.
That's what's upsetting, is I've gone through damn near this entire place and haven't found it.
Well, you did find a lockbox that you didn't attempt to open and said you were going to leave for later.
Yeah, because I needed to find them first.
Yeah, I know.
Safety in numbers.
I know.
Okay.
You also found a
Frostbite
trunk full of
cast.
money. Anyway.
Yeah, but I left that because that
Yeah.
would just weigh me down. Con save. He's a rogue. I can tell that automatically, so his con's probably not great.
Waylander, though. Presumably good con, but that's up to you.
True. Oh, the only reason I'm asking is, like, I'm thinking...
Oh, you're lagging. Hold on.
Okay, I'm waiting.
And
I'm
you're back, I think.
checking Ice Bolt. Ice Bolt is an action. It does not say range. So it would not be a disadvantage.
So, I mean, ranged attacks for spells, it's only ranged weapon attacks.
It's not. It's my cold point ability.
Oh, that!
My
Yeah,
joint power.
That's not a... Yeah. That's different than a cantrip.
Yeah. Oh, and I wouldn't have that anyway. That's fine. Oh, by the way, the sculpture, Shapewater cantrip, its third ability is to create ice.
Yeah.
So sculpture is kind of...
Yeah. It's different wording. I understand. I need to... That's because that's what V1 is for, and V2 is for...
see, I only have
realized
the
that as you were talking about using it not last night, but last session, I looked at it, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, that's cool. I was a little confused there. I was like, hang on.
It's more for like
Oh,
the magical
on
effect
already
of how-
frozen.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
more for like the magical effect of how their things were reforming and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. So I'm just going to try to... Okay, so grappled. Can I make an acrobatics check to break the grapple?
So
Like, kick him over off of me and then roll through and try to get moving
that would be
again.
athletics, the whole kicking it off part. The reason why when you're being grappled, you can like try and kick off / So when you make a grapple check, you are doing an athletics check to like grapple them. But the person gets to make either an athletics or acrobatics quote unquote save effectively.
Yeah, the hard part though is you said I'm prone and pinned.
Yeah,
So-
he tackles you prone basically. So what that means, it's
I lose acrobatics.
Yeah, you'd lose acrobatics. So you'd have to do the athletics. But
Which
how
is flat.
grappled specifically works for getting out after that is you just do a contested strength check after that.
So it's flat. So my best... How far away is... Let me double check the range on it. Lightning Lure has a range of 15 feet.
You're
So...
trying to find grappled specifically so I can just read it out loud for everyone. Just in case there's something I'm missing, because y'all know I do that often.
Oh,
Basically,
okay,
just
this-
can't move.
this is...
Grapple condition, successfully grappled. typing. Yeah, so just a strength check. Wrong.
Okay, let me ask you this.
You
Light-
don't have semantic component.
No, Lightning Lure is a verbal component
I know.
only spell.
I'm
It is,
I'm just telling you, you don't have semantic. That is
Mhm.
one of the things.
and that's fair.
Or maybe not, obviously.
Yes. So what I am saying is Lightning Lure has a pull effect. Would it be possible for me to use that pull effect to try to have him hit his head into the floor next to me?
Because it's and I know that it specifically says. Oh, well, it pulls
10 feet in a straight line towards you.
towards you.
Towards me is to the ground. So could I Lightning Lure smack his head?
I mean, it's funny.
Should be possible.
Targeting specifically the head.
He's on top of me, so
Yeah.
verbal component.
I mean, there's.
So I have line of sight.
But I think directly towards you wouldn't be past your head. It would be he'd be headbutting you. Is what's happening.
Yes,
in
that's why I'm
my
saying.
mind. However.
Yeah, but if I shift my head to the side at the same time,
That's what I was saying. However, you could shift. However, it is a strength save, I believe, that he makes.
it is a strength save, yes.
I'm gonna give him advantage, and here is why. He's pinning you, meaning his arms are already like push-up position over you. So he's kind of just gonna resist it by already being touching the ground. He's resisting against.
But no matter what, he's going to take a d8 of lightning damage for being within 5 feet of me.
Exactly.
So.
He will take the damage, but I'm gonna resist the whole slamming into the ground thing, maybe with advantage. But we'll see.
I am trying. It's only a, what is my spell save, 15? So it's a DC 15.
No.
12.
12, so no. He like
He
his
failed?
arms buckle and his forehead butts the ground, and he's taking damage, got more damage. Lightning.
D8 lightning. This is kind of entertaining ways to use spells. 7.
Okay, and then roll a d4, please. 7
Okay.
lightning and how much wood?
Didn't you say he had advantage?
He rolled with advantage.
But one of those
Oh,
dice rolls was 17.
you're right.
Oh.
I
So
thought
wait,
this
did
is-
he
Not to,
pass?
like,
I don't know why
ruin
I did this.
things,
Yeah,
but-
he passed.
Oh, okay,
But
so he
still takes
passed.
the-
Okay,
yeah,
but he
does
still
take
takes
the-
8 damage.
Yeah, he's still above you there. Crap.
So
Takes the-
confused.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you for calling that out. I got confused.
I was a little confused, but I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I guess I misunderstood.
No, I'm the dumb one here, not y'all.
But so what I like to imagine is Siegfried is like, she's pinned under this guy. He's like, so are we talking? And immediately just
Yeah.
lightning erupts off of his body, and they're like, ah,
Okay, that's cool.
get off of me!
That's your turn. Dosnick.
Ferno just has a bag of like marble popcorn.
I'm literally eating popcorn.
I can smell popcorn in my house. I think one of my roommates has made it for a movie night. Anyway.
You smelled it through the
Yeah.
the game.
It's
Smell-o-vision.
smart pop, not real popcorn.
Oh, that's lame.
Pity.
It's yummy.
Yeah,
It's cheesy.
Also lame.
Yeah, it's not real.
If I... No,
Oh,
I just needed a snack,
hang
and
on.
I have 50 bags of them.
Bonus action, I get to add my class ability of ice damage, which is, let me double check, it's how much ice damage? D4 cold damage that ignores resistance.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually get to do damage. 2. But it counts, it adds up.
Too cold resisted as one, but anyway.
No, it ignores resistance.
Oh, you're right! I knew that because I made it! Anyway, you see Corbin and Gavin run up, and they're like, you good? And Al looks up, and he's like, what do you think? Then they look down the hall at Dosnick, and he's like, guys, leave him alone. Get off of him. We're talking here. We're respectable people. He walks down the hallway. We are out of combat.
I was like, notice, I didn't ever attack them until he jumped on me.
No, I know. Altair stands back up, and he's like, but he... And... Whatever. And combat is over.
If I never use my spell, can I have it back?
Yeah, you never cast it, so you never fail.
Yippee!
Save it for when we have to
I'm
fight
gonna
our
say
life.
I'm going to kind of like have him like tilt his head side to side, like almost like no, to kind of indicate to Jade, don't shift.
Okay.
Like he's
Yeah.
like he's stretching after being knocked
Jade,
down.
Jade's simple enough, you kind of probably weren't planning on shifting.
No, not really. I don't want them to know I can shapeshift until I absolutely have to. I'm gonna wait until I am given his specific literal words saying, Jade, come on out.
Yeah. So, Dosnick looks over his shoulder. Yeah, guys, come down here. We're going to the big meeting room. Everyone in the big meeting room, go. And then Gavin and Corbin very swiftly run into the room. And Dosnick gestures down that hallway. There follows you.
Siegfried will go, but he's just going to stand behind the chair. He's not sitting down yet.
Okay. Dosnick walks in. He walks to this side and waits for you two.
Yeah. I walk actually slowly.
Yeah, Hasha's fucking a flash over here.
I literally move at the rate he goes at.
Yeah. Hasha, you good, Hasha? Oh, and he's there. Okay, cool. We can't hear you. if you're talking, by the way.
Yeah, you're muted.
Sits down. Ferno, take him up 2 chairs. Why do you think
Yeah.
I left the space there?
Yeah.
Anyway, you all sit down.
It just combines the 2 chairs together.
Yeah, I was saying, give me a second.
Oh, sorry. Anyway. You all sit down-ish. Siegfried, I'm assuming you sit down after he does. Corbin's like
Yeah.
staring at you weirdly that you're sitting at one of the heads of the tables.
Does this spider choice?
It's distinctly a power move.
No, I 100% certain. And Altera looks over and goes, Corbin, it's fine. I understand it's Mother's chair, but it's fine. Let it be. Dosnick looks over and says, so, now we're all together. Siegfried, your boss here. Wait a minute. Where's the other one?
What other one?
Hasha,
Never
don't.
mention me again, please.
Hasha, don't. I've got this.
Astoria walks in and goes, did you ever... Oh, we're having a meeting. Okay, cool. I'm glad I was invited. And sits down.
At which Siegfried is just seeing her for the first time in the
Yeah.
weird fitting clothes.
Oh,
And then he's
yeah,
going to
they're
clock
completely
the
oversized.
two big... He's
Yeah.
clocking the 2 big clothes in the trunk and realize that was a shared room with those 2.
Yeah.
So, like... Okay, so Siegfried seeing Dosnick and Astoria just kind of talking, he's going to look to Hasha and Ferno. It's okay. I've got this. We will
where's the other one?
all be leaving here.
There are 4 of you.
You have your secrets. I have mine.
Well, actually, I have yours too.
Really?
Ava,
Then where is my companion?
Ava, do the thing. She pulls out this pair of glasses, puts them on, walks around all of you. And she just kind of stops you
Intentionally.
and stares at your head, Siegfried. Jade, she's
I was gonna
staring
say,
directly at you.
But Siegfried isn't going to. Oh, you're gonna do it? Okay.
She sees her
Okay.
clearly. It's a spider. It's not actually Jade. It's a spider. Ava
Yeah.
goes, come now. Don't make this difficult.
Immediately, Siegfried is just gonna half smile. Who's being difficult? Honestly, I thought we were here to have a
She
conversation.
points at Jade on your head and goes, that one who is a spider, and she walks forward a little.
If she attempts to touch, I will
She's not.
immediately okay.
She's just walking forward for now.
And Siegfried is going to turn to face her, and he's still seated. So
Yeah.
this is he's not like attempting to be threatening, and he's just going to look. How rude is it to not only kidnap people but then make demands of them when we come together for negotiation?
How rude is it to not
Would
be
you
part of the
prefer
negotiations? If we all know
your
here. She's talking to you, Jade, not Siegfried.
Spider hiss.
Okay. She's like, whatever. She's here. She's just on his head. She's a spider. Puts the glasses back in her pouch.
So you're not really a diviner, I see.
I see things.
Tool assisted.
Anyway,
Much
interrupting you,
understood.
Dosnick goes, well, seeing as how we are, in fact, all here. Your boss has, what do we say, disagreed with my methods. And my family here, emotions, all agreed that that's not the worst thing. He can still be used, whether he likes it or not. And that we offer the same to you all. A chance
At which point,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, at which point Siegfried is going to kind of subtly nod, so that way Jade can choose to come out if she wants to.
Oh, thank God. Oh, yeah. She's gonna hop off, and can I just, for style points midair, go back to being a person?
Yeah, just... Yeah, easy enough. Corbin kind
Great.
of... You just see her, like, pitch black, what would be eyes, like, kind of swirl a bit in her head. Like little smoke bubbles. As she, like, jaunts backward.
And I'm just gonna stand next to him.
Her, but yeah.
Oh, I meant next to Siegfried,
him,
but I'm
Siegfried.
also next to her. So, yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. She's just kind of, like, leaned back in the chair away from you, like... I mean, you can't tell she's side-eyeing you, but she's very much side-eyeing you.
Mm-hmm.
Gosnick goes, well, nice of you to join us officially. Anyway, I extend the same offer to you as I extended him. A throne with your own name attached to it, whether be literal or not. If you join me, I will pay you double what he has, and I will give you double the stature, if not triple or even more.
I just want to look over, look at her boss. This is like, I'm the one following you, Chief.
And Siegfried's just going to lean back in his chair, plant his feet.
On the table?
I've always... No, he's not being disrespectful, but he squares his feet, like sits up more professionally. He's like, I've always been up. Yeah, he's like, I've always been upfront with you. My goals, my ambitions. If you prefer to follow him, I will not stop you. But I do hope that what I saw in you when I asked you to join me shines through in this choice.
As he says he's been up front with you, all of you get a flash in your head of that symbol on the letter that, after he read, had a weird look on. Not all of you saw that, but the ones of you who did see. And then also him just randomly vanishing afterwards.
Ferno is like looking back and forth and looks back to new guy.
Dosnick, okay.
Yeah.
As
bad
he,
names.
yeah, and also he's not said it yet to you. He says, "Oh, that's right. We should probably proper introductions. Well, I am Dosnick. I'm the fourth eldest of us all. This is Ava." Points to Ava. She's the oldest. Astoria is the youngest. Altair over there, he's above me. So is Gavin, and then Corbin is our second youngest. We all know who you are, so no need to introduce yourselves. Anyway, so what's the verdict?
So I'm following the boss.
What would you want us to do? Just be a part of your party?
Well, it's simple. We have claim... I believe that all of us have claim on what we can take. Someone of your size should understand as much that things can't always be just given. They have to be taken, earned sometimes. Look at your axe, you know. How much did it take to get that axe?
None of you.
That's more relevant for someone like me who literally stole this.
Yeah. What did you say, Ferno?
Meanwhile,
None of you.
she's just like,
As he said,
in her
how
head,
much
it's like,
did it take?
like in her
Hold
head,
on,
she's like,
hold
I'm
on.
the one who builds stuff here, so.
Ferno, what'd you say?
In her head, but she's like, she's just gonna say, continue to say, I'm following the boss here.
Yeah. Ferno, what were you saying?
He said, how much does it take? And he said,
He
none
says-
of you.
Well, he says, I mean, we take what we earn. I mean, look at your axe. You understand. What did it cost for that axe?
A lot of blood.
Of course. And no one could ever, except you and your kind, understand what that costs, truly. I offer more than an axe. I offer, again, as I said, a proverbial, or literal, if you would wish, a throne. With your name, yours alone tied to it, that you yourself earn and are not just born into, or given, because of whatever whim it is given a throne.
And I ask again, what would we do?
Well, we all... Let's say we have specialties. The twins, they procure tools for us, as he points to Ava and Gavin. Of course, Altair, he has his own knack for procuring people, and of course I mean their lives. Corbin, what exactly do you... Oh, well, I guess you do the whole spying thing, that is true. And then Astoria here, as you all understand, procures people in a less violent way. She also makes a great tea. Nye, on the other hand, for some reason very good at making items that, I don't know, have some kind of usefulness to them. For you, big man, specifically, you... Oh, who left? Okay. He says, for you, big man, I guess you would probably on the front lines with Altair or Astoria. I don't know 100% of what you do, but I can assume, seeing as how you have the aforementioned axe.
And you just are recruiting us?
Well,
Astoria here could not explain that to us.
miscommunication. She didn't understand the circumstances before they unfolded, and it's not like cell phones exist. No, he doesn't say that. He's like, it's not like I can just, on a whim, ruin my plans and sending stone her, but she did just that and sending stone me, and then our connection got cut, but it is what it is.
If you have uses for all of us, do me. I'm very curious.
Well, I understand your kind has a particular knack for, what is it? Wound cures and such. Gavin here, he dabbles, but isn't the best, and Astoria can brew up a fine concoction of potions of sorts, but nothing to the extent of a true doctor or something of the sorts. They're adjacent. You and Hasha both would be offered the same. Of course, Hasha, you'd also be more of a frontline, I'm assuming, kind of into their face kind of person. And even old Siegfried here, he could be along the lines of Corbin or Gavin, with his expertise of the northern weave of our ancestors.
I'm not really in this for a crown or whatever.
Of
So
course, not everyone needs to lead. Everyone needs a second hand, of course. A table of consultants, if you will. I offer not just a throne, I offer not just power, but whatever position you feel you are worthy of. That you feel you can take and earn.
I can't help but feel like you're avoiding or evading my question.
What is it you would do? Well, you see, what we have been doing is really only recruiting. There's been some other instances of people we have encountered to attempt to begin negotiations, however, all ending in naught. But with, what is it, 1, 2, 3, almost doubling our power, we could begin to branch out and begin to make moves in the political scheme of things. With the recent death of the High Priest, many people have wondered if, and of course the lack of appointing being rushed of a new High Priest, many of the citizens of this fine empire, as he gives finger quotes, have realized that leadership isn't always just something someone can do, and sometimes other people need to step in and take their place. Our fine Empress Haifine has proven as such recently, being almost inept at her position. Of course, she was, in fact, just given it because she was born. If you look to the example of Grovewood, which I'm sure, actually, I know already, all of you are familiar with. Of course, they are independent, but their most humble leader, John, in fact earned that, and he has done a great job at leading it thus far. However, as time goes, and our dearest eldest mother, grandmother, whatever you may call her, Rosa, in age, has lost her knack for leadership, I'll say. She technically, of course, was born into it and married into it, but she was really the backbone of Grovewood for a long time, and it has shown that it is clearly wearing off. The ice is melting, perchance. And he cracks his neck on both sides, and he says, so, I once again offer you a chance to do something, rather than just mosey about surviving day to day, but instead have the option of moseying about and live and experience what it means to mean something. And he looks directly at you, Siegfried, as if giving you your turn in the conversation.
Oh, Siegfried has just been quiet and patient, very respectful, not interrupting.
Of course.
And he's finally going to lean forward, elbows on the table, like hands clasped, and
Corbin
he's going
at this
to
point
kind of...
falls out of the chair and then just like scuttles up to this second chair next to Altair.
Mhm. And Siegfried very politely will not mention.
Yeah.
Or even acknowledge.
Mhm.
He's going to say, so in your grand seizure of power, let me ask you what happens to the regular person,
Well,
to the people in the town who just want to run their businesses, tend their farms, raise their children in peace, prosperity, happiness.
well, I offer them the same as you all. If they come willingly and join, either submit or take their own bit of power, that is their own to take. I offer the same to them as I offer to you now. It'll be, of course, more on the dime than currently sitting at a table, but everyone, this is my entire point, and I mean everyone, and he slams his hand against the table, deserves to have the chance to take what they can take and earn what they can earn.
And Siegfried shakes his head. You and I share blood. We
Unfortunately.
do not get... Oh,
Of course, I mean because the blood we share, not because we... you... Never mind.
you are my kin.
Yes.
Let us put it that way.
Yes.
All of you, to a degree from what I've seen so far, are of my blood.
Sure.
Of
Yes,
some
whispers
degree.
under his breath.
To some degree.
Astoria is kind of like giggling under her breath, having barely any Waylander in her, but she understands.
Mhm. So, while I understand your position specifically as the fourth, he slightly enunciates fourth.
Mm-hmm.
I also
He interrupts, he goes,
understand.
no! We do not take their name. We are not part of them.
At which point, Siegfried had done that intentionally to nettle him, but he's just going to smile. Part of who? Brother? Are you talking?
He stands up. You see,
You are
there is
merely the
something.
fourth child, are you not?
He stands up and he stares you directly in the eyes and he gets this nasty grin across his face and he goes, you say you're forthright and up forth with your people, but do they even know? And he pulls out a sleeve of paper from his vest, and it's got that same wax symbol of the eye with the smoke following. He slams it on the table and slides it across in front of you all about here. He goes, do they even know what connections you have and why you are who you are? Do they even know why they are at this table? Have you been truly forthwith with them? And with that, we will end it there because it is 8 o'clock.
Aww.
Cliffhanger time.